Oh, coming up next on Who's Views, the Who testing panel.
You are watching Who's Views. You belong to us. You will be like us.
We're heading back to 1967, and we're about to open the tomb of the Cybermen. Hello, Who viewers. Welcome back to Who's Views Reviews. I'm so scared.
You will be like us.
Oh, my God. Cyberness all over the place.
That was almost like lately, wasn't it? Yeah.
JT, can I just check before we go any further? Am I getting paid my usual £50 for doing this review?
And like with inflation, George, obviously, yes.
So cheeky, isn't he, Who viewers? He's on it tonight. Listen, good to see you all. Welcome to yet another in our special series throughout 2026, where we are now celebrating 60 years of those cyber fiends. And yes, we are heading back to the Tomb of the Cybermen tonight. One of my favorite cyber stories of all time. So we're going to get into all that. As you can see, I'm with Paul. I'm with the lady of the chat, Kirsty, and I am with Troublesome George. How are we all then?
Not bad. How you doing?
Not too bad. Is that a character options one you've got there?
Character options one, yeah. So he's blocking his face there.
Look at them, aren't they gorgeous, everybody?
They're really nice, yeah, lovely, yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look straight away, everybody, before we get into the review, and say hi to everybody that's in the chat with us. Nice to see you all. Steve Braddock has given us one of my favorite quotes from these episodes: by keeping my eyes open and my mouth shut.
Yes, a cracker, yeah.
Yeah, there's some people associated with Doctor Who today that could really benefit from listening to that. Hello, Rocking Terry Lee. How are you, mate? I'm not late to the party this time. No, you're not. Good to see you. And hello, everyone. I'm excited about this one because The Tomb was one of the first VHS I got as a kid, and I believe it to be one of the best stories. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? May 1992, Rocking Terry Lee, that this came out on VHS. I'm sure we'll get to that as well, but that's when it was first released.
Kirsty, you were -70 about then, weren't you?
Let's not do that. Matt Enspiel's with us as well, saying, oh, the music still gives me a bit of a thrill, and long may it do that, because you don't have to pay for that one, eh, George? No. And we've got Steve Braddock also saying to us, I couldn't wait to get the video home to watch it. What a wonderful day that was. The John Keeley's with us. Hello, John Keeley. Hope you're all right as well. Nice to see you. And Legion of James is saying to us, guys, I remember getting up at the crack of dawn. Who's she? Oh, see what I mean. To wait outside Woolworths to buy it the moment the shop opened, the day this was released on VHS. I was so excited and I was not disappointed. I love this story. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And I know you're all wondering what's happening over in Wigan. And I can tell you from Stephen O'Neill that he's saying it's overcast but dry in Wigan, which is good news.
Is he our resident Michael Fish? Google him if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yes, he is. Only in Wigan.
Only in Wigan.
Yeah. And he's also in fog. As long as the pies are all right, George, I don't mind. And he's saying to us also as well that this is one of my favorite Troughton stories, along with The Mind Robber. Oh, The Mind Robber is really good as well, isn't it? It's absolutely fantastic. Funky, nice to see you, Funky, as well. And John Pope. And Lex is saying Cybermen chamber scene is like scene in Aliens and closing scene of The Prestige starring Hugh Jackman. Ooh. Oh, shut up, rocking Terry Lou. Saying I was only 8 in 1992. I'll behave. Stand in the corner. Absolutely outrageous. And thank you for your super chat, Digby. So that I can't join you folks live. Oh, sorry that I can't join you folks live. Thank you for putting this on, JT. Please give my best to Eric Klieg and the Brotherhood of Logicans. He will become like us. Where are you going, Digby? How dare you go out? That's outrageous. How dare you have a life? Isn't that awful? Hi, Graham. Nice to see you as well. And Georgios is with us. Hello and good evening to all the chat and illustrious panel. Well, that's you lot. Tomb's recovery in 1991 is a game changer. I remember purchasing my copy from Woolies. Great fun and excitement and lovely memories. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult for people around now, Kirsty and others, because at one point this story wasn't there, and we had a sort of Daleks master plan moment back then as well. It was 91 when they announced it had been discovered, wasn't it?
Towards the end of 91, I seem to remember.
Yeah.
I mean, in relative terms, it was rush released onto video.
Yeah, May 1992, the VHS came out. Everybody,
and
isn't that amazing?
As James said earlier, I know I've said this before. I did exactly the same. I was standing outside the doors of my local Woolworths at 5 to 9 the day of release. Because they were available in Woolworths for 1 week before they went on general sale up and down the country.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember. Habit, I had a day off from work the day of release.
Oh yeah.
No,
I'm upset.
Who was it who used to do the rotors back then? Oh, that was me. Anyway, 9:05. You know, I was making my way home as fast as my legs would carry me, and just sat in front of the TV, staring and going, I'm actually watching Tomb of the Cybermen. This is unbelievable. This is Tomb of the Cybermen. It exists.
Yeah. It was an amazing moment, actually, and it was magical. It was actually, and just to show you again that it was brilliant when you got the video, because the video, you can't really tell there, but it was metallic. That writing was silver foily type thing.
I love that cover more than the DVD version, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, it was a better cover there, wasn't it? I think that was Alistair, wasn't it? Wasn't it Alistair?
I think it may have been. Yeah,
it was Alistair that did that one. Yeah,
I do remember it was released the same week as a big Hollywood blockbuster. My memory's telling me it was Silence of the Lambs, but I could be wrong on that. And Tomb of the Cybermen outsold Silence of the Lambs.
Do you know what? You are right, and you might be right about Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. I remember the fuss because the industry couldn't believe it, because Tomb of the Cybermen knocked this other thing to number 2.
This multi-million-dollar, high-profile movie that everybody knew about got knocked off the number 1 spot by a then 25-year-old black and white TV series.
Yeah. See, the artwork of the Doctor. Goodness knows, it might happen again with the Daleks Master Plan. You never know. Funky William Orlock, nice to see you, saying you belong to us. You should be like us. Immortal lines now always look like on a T-shirt. Later nicked by Star Trek. And adapted. And before the VHS, we had the Target novel and the script book from Titan, says Funky. We did indeed. Lovely.
I had the cassette audio version as well, read by John Pertwee. Remember that?
Yes.
I've got it behind me.
I've got it on cassette still as well. Yes, I remember that as well. VHS artwork is mesmerizing, says Rocky Terry. Matt Enspiel saying, when I bought this on VHS, I was slack-jawed with disbelief. The actual Tomb of the Cybermen. And a huge thank you to the John Keeley for this super chat. Really appreciate this. Good evening, panel. I hope all are well. The second Doctor is by far my favorite classic Doctor, and the Doctor's talk with Victoria about her memory of her father. It's so moving and bloody amazing. It brings me to tears every time. It's a classic scene, isn't it? It's absolutely superb team. So we're going to get into all that as well. It's great to see you all. Good Gray's with us as well. Hello, Good Gray, up there in Edinburgh. Evening all. Tomb is a Troughton classic, a missing story that was regarded as mythic before it was found, and it didn't disappoint. There's certain things, Good Gray, that you might remember from when we were kids. I remember that picture of the Cybermat on the chest of what's his name lying down. I can't remember his name.
Harrison.
Yeah. And that was iconic to me. You know, that whole thing. What is that?
For the older viewers on this, because you need to Google this name,
Oh, let's have a
Cybermen.
look. Hang on. Kirst, hang on 1 second. Let me just sort this out. My fingers are not playing ball. There we are.
Captain with the Cybermen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
The baby one, bizarrely. Yeah.
The baby one, yeah. The
baby
prop
one. Yeah, I was going to say, what would tickle me watching it again recently, the fact there's a character called Ted Rogers. That really tickled me. Yeah. You're thinking 3, 2, 1 exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you'd have a production assistant at the side of the set queuing him in, going 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. And here comes Dusty Ben. No, it's a Cyberman. Yeah.
Lex, thank you for your super chat. This was Victoria's only story with the Cybermen. I want to talk about Victoria because I've forgotten how bloody strong she is in this story, considering she's a woman completely out of her depth and out of her time. She's very, very good. Kentucky Fried Santorin, it is lovely to see you. Nice to see you. I still think, Will of Alls, nice. This was my first second Doctor story I ever saw. It might have been mine, to be quite honest. Did we have a Troughton one before?
The Crotons, certainly. The Crotons.
In 1981, yeah, but had any Troughton VHS come out before too?
Yes, yeah.
Seeds of Death come out, hadn't it? But
there was definitely.
Of course, Seeds of Death, yeah.
There's Seeds of Death, Mind Robber, and I think the Dominators before this on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
At least Jamie and Zoe on that one. Yeah.
And possibly the War Games as well.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's too long ago.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I think it was the War Games as well. Yeah.
Chris Kaz saying to us, I remember finding out it was found when my subscriber issue of Doctor Who Bulletin turned up 2 weeks early, and also remember getting my VHS copy from Woolies too. That's good news. And Chris, was it this?
Oh wow.
Yeah, from DWP. Was it this one? It might not have been this actual one, but that's the one where DWP, as a spring special, celebrated the fact that it was there, it was available. Because this was a real party at the time, wasn't it? It was an absolute real party. Talking of which, I want to say thanks to Steve Braddock, who's in the chat for us as well, because one of our resident artists here on Who's Views, he has done us a lovely picture for the Tomb of the Cybermen, and here it is.
Oh, lovely.
Wow.
Nice.
And in colour as well. On this we've done Chit Chat, me and Steve, which is coming out very, very soon. And he was telling me that he was doing more stuff in colour. And I said, "Oh, you have to send them over to us." And he has. So thanks for that. And that's lovely, I think.
Lovely, yeah.
Really, really nicely done, Steve. So well done, you. Brilliant. I love it when people send things in. If you do want to get in touch with us and you want to send something in to us, you can. The email address is whosviews1@gmail.com. I know that Kirsty's in the chat as well, and she will remind you through the show.
Can I say something? I was going to say, going back to what George said about going to Woolies in '92. I did the same thing, but I had a slightly different reaction to Tomb of the Cybermen than George did. So this will probably take him off his Christmas list. But when I first watched it, I was a bit disappointed by it. Right, I feel completely differently about it now. But Cotty's upset now. And I didn't get the same reaction. It had been hyped up so much in fandom, and there were bits of it I thought were a bit, but actually now I love it. And the opening sequence when they go into the TARDIS for the first time is wonderful. It really is. That bit on film at the start, carrying on from evil, is absolutely fantastic. And it is like a wonderful jumping on point for new fans coming into the series. Lovely stuff, introducing the TARDIS and the companions, etc. What they do, but it still makes me laugh when Victoria says, "What are all these knobs?" But that was my first.
Well, I mean, at that time, I had no active involvement in fandom whatsoever. So, all the hype sort of passed me by, so that didn't build my expectations up. I clearly remember sticking the tape on and Maurice Barry's introduction. And I was sat there on the sofa going, get on with it. I'm going to watch it.
Oh gosh, because those were the days, eh? Those were the days. You just bypass and just say play all, wouldn't you? Really on the Blu-ray.
I mean, that opening sequence, as you say, Paul, was shot on film at Ealing Studios. The TARDIS set instantly looked 10 times better because it was done on film. But Maurice Barry did a very good job, because I don't think they moved the full set to Ealing. Because if you look at it, almost all of it is done in close-up. You don't get one shot of the full console room. So I think they probably just took the console and a couple of flats and did sort of like a proxy control room set.
Lots of
I just
shifting.
I just did it in close up. But
Yeah.
the fact it was on film and the texture and the depth that it gave it just made it look so much better.
Like we got when we saw Nightmare Begins, to see this wonderful unseen interior TARDIS shots was so good, because you can't get enough of 60s interior TARDIS shots, can you? Let's be honest.
No, because it lives up to the expectation, doesn't it? The 60s.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Lex, for a super chat, thank you, Lex. Was this the first time we see Patrick's woolly coat?
Love that woolly coat.
He's not in this one. He's not in this one. No.
No. It's
That's
not
Abominable Snowmen and Ice Warriors. Yeah.
His cloak.
A Hartnell style cloak.
Yeah.
Which he manages to find from somewhere. I don't know, but yes,
it must be from Gallifrey, because I think Anthony Amy's got one of the 5 Doctors as well. Very similar.
Rocking Terry Lee is saying to us, the Seeds of Death was July 85, War Games February 1990, The Mind Robber May 1990, The Dominators September 1990, and The Crotons February 1991. You've got a good memory. You weren't even there. That's fantastic. Well done, you. Thank you for that. I was there, can't remember. John Keeley is saying, it's such a shame we have very little complete Second Doctor stories. I only pray we find more soon. Well, here to that.
Well, yeah, but glass half full. I mean, go back, right back to 1981. There was only one complete Patrick Troughton story, The Crotons.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And now, is it 7 that we've got now that are absolutely complete?
Yeah.
Yes.
So 7's certainly better than 1.
Oh, yeah.
And S. Martin, 1971 AD. Good to see it. I was able to get the Tomb of the Cybermen on DVD. The Cybermen were especially creepy with that music when they crawled out of their tombs. They bloody were, weren't they? It was absolutely fantastic. Come on, then. Let's get into this properly, everybody, and let's start looking at this. Of course, this is Tomb of the Cybermen, first broadcast on BBC One, the 2nd to the 23rd of September, 1967. Written by Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis, directed by Maurice Barry, and produced by Peter Bryant. Details at the bottom of your screen. Episode 1 reached an audience of 6.0 million. Episode 2, 6.4 million. Episode 3, 7.2 million. And episode 4, 7.4 million. So good stuff. Really good stuff there for this. The word went out, everybody. Yeah. That's all I can say.
And it was one of the stories in the 60s that had a Radio Times cover as well.
Yeah, it's a lovely cover too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's strange you should mention that.
There we go.
There it is, everybody. This is the Radio Times. As you can see, the cover there, which is now a legendary cover as well, and much sought after by collectors. This particular cover. It'll have various features in it as well, including this, which was the day page. I don't know what they would call it, but there we have it there. And it says not just the Cybermen, but the deadly Cybermats as well. The Doctor has some formidable enemies in this new 4-part adventure. What are the Cybermats like? You'll have to wait till this evening to see them, but it's said that they are small, highly dangerous robot animals. Soon after TARDIS lands on the planet Telos, the Doctor sniffs adventure in the air. Precise as ever, he writes up his diary. And then it goes on to say, Telos, September. The Daleks are at last destroyed, or are they? They are such fiendish creations that anything is possible. Victoria is settling down well with Jamie and myself. The horror of her captivity and the tragic end of her father has not embattered her. She is learning to smile again, and I think she has a very pretty smile. Jamie is too shy to admit it. We must look after her well. Today we landed on Telos. It is strange how familiar it all is. Somewhere on this planet lie the remains of the Cybermen. They are supposed to be extinct, but I wonder if they really are. There is so little in life one can take for granted. We have met up with an expedition from Earth who are here to excavate the Cybermen. I am more than a little suspicious of some of the members of the expedition. My instincts tell me that terrible danger awaits us. I shall have to take great care of my 2 young companions. Jamie is very brave, but he is apt to be impetuous. And as for Victoria, she is as, yet unaware of the adventures that overtake me in my travels through space and time.
That's a lovely previously on Doctor Who moment, isn't it? That's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't get that today, do you?
You could imagine Troughton narrating that, though, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's very much coming from
for a trailer, maybe. Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I wish
that photograph you had, JT, when you see them standing outside the doors. I love that comic moment where Troughton tries to hold Jamie's hand, I think he's Victoria. That business is so funny. That's wonderful. Really, yeah.
It is. It really is lovely, that, isn't it? Fantastic. Kirsty, I have to ask. Yeah, she's looking over there going, yeah, I don't know what you're going to. When did you first see this, darling?
An hour and a half ago.
You know what? Do you know what? Here's the story, boys and girls. So Tuesday night, finish up, I get home and I go, do you know what? I've got a show on Wednesday. I need to do my homework because I won't have time on Wednesday. So I crack open a nice cold 2-parter out of the 4, and I think I've got to rush home Wednesday. I need to finish this off because I'm falling asleep. And then you messaged me yesterday going, here's the link for Thursday. And I went, oh, okay. Actually, unexpected. So Tuesday, and then the last 2 were done this morning as I was having my breakfast.
Oh, bless you. I love it Wednesday. This is, of course, part of the ongoing Whose Views mission to introduce Kirsty to lots of original, classic, proper Doctor Who.
Until she's seen all of it, basically.
Until she's seen all of it. That exists, exactly. Good to see you all in that. This is such a good story, says Dirty Davros. It could have been a Peter Cushing film easily.
Oh, it's definitely like a mummy movie. I love the fact they've got the tombs like they have with the mummies. That's fantastic kind of way of kind of presenting them, don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And also a crossover from a couple of well-known Hammer faces, including George Pastel, who was in a couple of Hammer mummy films.
Yeah. Good to see you, Cara, the Tolkien nerd, in the chat as well. I mean, you mentioned the opening, Paul, of this story. From the opening onwards, this story is just beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Maurice Barry has done a cracking job on these episodes. And it's no wonder that a load of people back in the day, Who viewers, were wetting themselves when the news was, we found the 4 episodes.
Yes. Well, I mean, like the 2 new episodes of the Dalek Master Plan, with what Dougie Camfield did with his direction there, Maurice Barry also pulls it off here, that he makes makes the camera very fluid. There's a lot of movement, a lot of tracking shots, a lot of moving around the sets. And it belies the fact it was done on videotape in a small TV studio. It really punches above its weight, and it makes it look like it's far more filmic, and really stretches the resources that were available. He did a really remarkable job on it.
I think the set design as well for all the sets, particularly the tomb and the entrance to the tomb, the main building within the first part of it, it's so wonderfully done, isn't it? Although I didn't realise the Cybermen were fans of Countdown. That's the only thing I'd like to say.
It was a clever piece of design that basically it's the whole 4 episodes is on 2 large sets. And because the sets are larger, it allows the cameras to move around in the sets and not hit the edge of the set, which gives them like a real depth and a real feeling that they are in a very, very big place.
Well, it's amazing because Stephen Braddock was saying as well that for a show that was done in the late 60s, the effects are fantastic. And one of the things he mentioned was this. I mean, that was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the location where the forced perspectives using foreground miniatures and all that sort of thing, like the opening shot of the space rocket.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and all that sort of thing. They are in the textbook Doctor Who quarry, but it just looks so good.
I love all that Gerard's Cross, wasn't it? All the Gerard's Cross stuff is absolutely fantastic. And it really sets the scene. You just instantly know what's going on and what's going to happen. And any minute now. And when you hear the TARDIS arrive and you go, here we are. We're going to get blamed for all this now.
Yeah,
I love that. Interesting though, they do it quite a lot in 60s a little bit. What's that coming down over there? Like the TARDIS can be seen.
It was a good tweet on Maurice Barry's part.
The
TARDIS landing is done off screen, so they didn't have to take the police box prop out on location with them.
Well, that's how it could be. You don't need to see the TARDIS, right? It's like we say, everything's explained for us these days, Kirsty, isn't it? Everything has to be explained in Doctor Who today, whereas this didn't. You just heard it enough. The kid knows it's arrived.
It felt almost maybe like say cinematic. It did make me chuckle with it being a quarry that I've been watching Stargate again. recently.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite funny that they use like British Columbia a lot, so it's like each
Yeah.
episode it's what part of the forest can I use to make it into a new alien world.
Yeah.
Well, this
Yeah,
one
right.
has been one of the best quarries I've seen in a while. They did well with this quarry.
Bloody did, didn't they?
We need to
The
do
direction-
marks out of 10 for quarries as well, JT. That way,
Yes.
because we've got a lot to cover, I'm sure. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
And also, to Morris Barry's credit, the marrying up of the studio sequences, like outside the tomb doors, and the location work works very well. It flows nicely. There's not that usual jar of, oh, we're in the studio now.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's brilliant. I mean, the whole black and white thing about this for me, George, having watched it again just this afternoon again, because I love it so much. You're absolutely right about that. But this thing could have been made last week. It just looks amazing. You know, the sets are beautiful. What, go on, Kirst.
Well, you say it could have been made last week, but would it have been made with such elegance as that was?
Oh,
That
no, yeah, good point. Oh, very good. You're probably, you're right. It wouldn't have been, would it? It looks like it was, but no, you're right.
I don't think it'd be made with the mindset from everybody that we are telling an adventure story first and foremost.
Yeah.
And everything falls in behind that.
With pure atmosphere as well, isn't it? Because it's got lovely kind of scales in it and atmosphere. And it's quite creepy. In fact, the Cybermen don't appear until quite late into it as well, apart from the dummy one in episode 1.
Yeah.
They don't really appear that quickly, which is a really slow burn for their appearance, so I think.
Yeah. One question I do...
Go on.
That was sick. I loved that. I did not expect that dummy thing to go ding. I love the camera as well with the actual gun. I was like, whoa, that's sick. Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, signed, seal, delivered. This is one of the best I've seen.
Oh, wow.
There's a couple of very minor points which I think are a bit of a stretch in the story. One of which is, why would a dummy Cyberman have an active weapon in its hand?
Yeah,
because it's the Cybermen.
I pulled them bananas, and I was just like, we're off to the races. Thanks. This is done.
I like this. We've got David Townell in the chat with us. Hi, David. I love how finding the tomb of the Cybermen, a long lost treasure, in real life reflects the mythology of what the archaeologists were looking for in the story itself. Yeah, I know what you're saying there. And our story is carrying on with the likes of Film is Fabulous and everybody as well, isn't it? Absolutely wonderful. But no, I see what you mean there. Absolutely wonderful. And John Roberts is saying to us that I love the music for this story. It's very iconic. Well, it was sort of the Cybermen themes now, wasn't it? You know, at this point.
That very famous electronic thing that starts with the timpani drums. Is it Space Adventure number 4, the Cube?
I think it is,
Yes, it is. Yeah, which was available on CD. I don't know if you can get it now.
I mean, it was all stock library music in this one, actually, John. There was nothing specially composed for it. In fact, some of the cues, I think in episode 4, if I remember rightly, the BBC had previously used in their version of Quatermass in the Pit.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and they got reused here.
Oh, we
the
see
piece of music, the bit of music they used where we'll come to it later, but when the Doctor has a conversation with Victoria and everyone's sleeping, that's a lovely transitional piece of music, and it's really nice, and it's got a very Dudley feel to it, don't you think?
Yeah, actually, you're right there. You're right there. Yeah. Cara is with us. Hi, Cara, the Talking Nerd. I saw these episodes yesterday and this afternoon, so I have to hold my hands up to say I'd never saw them first time. Can I use the excuse I hadn't been born? Of course you can. Listen, we hadn't been born. It was only discovered in the 90s. When we were all like, wow. But
I was around when it was broadcast, but I didn't see it. I'll say that.
No. And Funky, thank you for your super chat, saying a big thank you to Hong Kong for looking after the episode. And that was the other thing about it, Funky, wasn't it? When the news came through that the episodes had been found in Hong Kong, it felt quite exotic.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, Doctor Who's travelled a bit here, isn't it? This is amazing.
Yeah. But I mean, not, the fact it was the complete story, all 4 episodes, and all absolutely complete.
Unheard of at that point, wasn't it? It was a really big deal, this. It really was. Dirty Davros is saying correctly as well. The story introduces the cyber controller concept. It really does. We'll get to him shortly, I'm sure. And hello, Real Geriatric. The Cybermen stories are all Peak Trout and they're so atmospheric. Yeah, they are absolutely fantastic. And this one, wow, I think
partly that is, I think it's a gift that Troughton has, and same that Tom has, and Hartnell as well, is the fact that Troughton really sells the scares, I mean, even when there's a bit I think in episode 3 when he talked to Cyber Controller, why we're all subjected to being frozen, and he goes, "You don't have to answer if you don't want to."
I know,
And you get
it's brilliant,
it's that lovely kind of moment of
Mhm.
I'm really scared of you guys, and the fact
Mhm.
all the actors are tiny and they're massive, it really adds to the scares for the kids. They must be terrified watching this.
It really does. I mean, that whole scene where Troughton's looking up at them, or even the Cyberman
Yeah.
just behind, strategically placed behind Troughton,
Yeah.
huge. Troughton,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Again, another good directorial touch from Maurice Barry in this one is a lot of the times he shoots the Cybermen with the camera angled at a low angle, angled up on them,
True.
which makes them look absolutely huge.
Yeah, that's very true, and it works beautifully. I mean, the guy knew what he was doing, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely knew what he was doing. Listen, just for fun, everybody, as part of this, because we are talking to the Tomb of Cybermen, we do have a poll for you tonight, everybody, because now I found it, we're going to be bloody well using it. 'Cause I've got it.
You're going to get your money's worth, aren't you? Yeah.
So we've got a poll for you, everybody. We started this on Sunday's show with headlines, and we're going to throw it in wherever we can, really, for a bit of fun. And the question tonight for you all, everybody, is who would you freeze in the tombs on Telos? You can vote number 1 for Gatwa, number 2 Tennant, number 3 Eccleston, or number 4 RTD. There you go. And you can go for that now. 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 for Gatwa, 2 for Tennant, 3 for Eccleston, 4 for RTD. All just for fun, everybody. It's all for fun. All of this, look, it moves and everything. So you can go for that now while we continue talking about this. So, I just can't praise this story enough. What a brilliant script as well by Kit Pedler and Jerry Davis. The fact that it just, I don't really like the word romp, but it does, doesn't it? It really goes.
It's always moving forward. The 4 episodes just race by. The script is wonderfully tight. There's no padding material there at all.
Mm-hmm. No, not at all. And it's just full of little beautiful moments as well. And from the moment you meet them as well, people like Kaftan, or Kafkan as I used to call her. I mean, she gets on my wick. I mean, is she stupid? Yes, it turns out absolutely thick as mince, thinking because she's got all the money that she's big, and it's very now.
But I mean, really well played, a really good adventure yarn villainess. She might as well walk onto screen for her first shot holding a placard saying, "I have evil intent," but she's all the better for it.
Yeah, I am the baddie. You can keep voting, by the way. I'm just taking it off their screen because it covers our Kirsty there. But I mean, it's brilliant. And the whole thing with Klieg, he's just as bad, isn't he? I mean,
I really like George Pastel in this. He's really good, actually.
He's
big sinister, and I love his speech towards the end when he's losing it, and Troughton says, "Now I know you're mad." That's lovely.
Yes. It's just little lines like that, isn't it? Who've used throughout this entire. It's just such a great script. Keith Burton, hello, Keith. How are you? The book is great. Jerry Davis writes the Cybermen better than anyone else. The stuff of nightmares. I can't really remember the book. I read it.
The book used to drive me crazy as a kid because I knew even then it was the wrong Cybermen on the cover.
That was.
But I mean, as it turns out, very like its TV counterpart, the book was one of the most graphic in the series. And these 4 episodes, I think, are some of the most violent and most graphic ever in all of the 1960s Doctor Who that we're familiar with.
Well, yeah, it did get complaints, didn't it, because of that as well, actually. But it's the Cybermen. What would you expect? I mean, the kids would have been expecting that just as much as they would have expected the Daleks to exterminate everything.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting, another thing that I think could potentially be quite scary, that when Toberman fights with the Cybermen, that is really scary as well, because he's really strong and he's powerful enough to fight them off, which is really good.
Exactly.
But
We've got
also,
William Morlock. Oh, sorry, Joe's gone.
I was going to say, but also in this one, the Doctor's solution is to kill anybody who tries to get into the tomb. In the future, he's saying, right, anybody tries to tamper with this, I'm sentencing them to death.
Yeah, they're going to get a nasty shock.
That's pretty dark. But he actually says, and it'll be a fatal one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, he's appointed himself judge, jury, executioner for anybody who might just wander by and go,
Yeah.
what are these doors?
And
To be fair though, he let them in the first place. It's like, what are you doing? It's like,
yeah. And he knows, doesn't he? There's two great big
Yeah.
bloody Cybermen motifs outside the
Well,
thing.
that's
He
the
knows
thing. Did the
what's going
cyber
on.
controller say, "Get me stenciling"? Before it's like,
Let me read this from William. William Morlock
And-
said to us, Dr. Pedler was the ideas man and Jerry was the experienced writer. And a super chat from Mark. Thank you, Mark. Hiya. I believe that you can assign certain enemies to certain doctors. Troughton and the Cybermen is perfect. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mark. Totally agree with you. Good point there. If you just joined us, hello, welcome. You can actually take part in our poll, which is basically this. Who would you freeze in the tombs on Telos? You can vote number 1 for Gatwa, number 2 for Tennant, number 3 for Eccleston, and number 4 for RTD. I can tell you that 83% of you at the moment have voted for RTD.
Can we say he should not be named instead? It gives me.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah.
Keep that going then. 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1 for Gatwa, 2 for Tennant, 3 for Eccleston, 4 for RTD. We'll keep that going in a second. What do you say, George?
Another very minor point, which is a little bit of a stretch, I think, in episode 1, going back to the big cyber motifs on either side of the team doors. Why didn't the Doctor and Jamie react to them when they saw them?
Yeah.
It would have been Cybermen rather than waiting for somebody to mention Cybermen and then react to them. It's like you've just been looking at an 8-foot picture of one for about 2 minutes.
I'm not sure about Jamie, unless he's been.
Jamie was there on the moon base.
He was, but I'm not sure about Jamie, unless he was being a bit thick and just not being observant.
Well, he does that. I love that bit. When Vader does thick Jamie, it's very funny. But look at Jamie's skirt. It's very short. I'll have you know. Oh, hi. It's I love that kind of. It's like.
But when it comes to that, I think the Doctor has seen them, George, and I think he's aware because he does say that thing about I keep my eyes open and my mouth shut, and I think it's his curiosity about the fact I actually want to get in there and see what's going on as well, because he knows, he absolutely knows. It's a bit Seventh Doctor-ish for me in a sense, the foreshadow what's going to happen later on with that thing of, well, let me just put everybody in this situation and let's see what happens here, shall we? I'll get out of it somehow. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. I think he's being very, very dark here.
I love though when Klieg tries to break into the tomb and he's trying to work out the logic of it, and then Troughton just snips in and presses a button while he's not looking. And then Jamie says, "But Doctor, you..." I love all that sort of. Jamie's been watching what's going on. The Doctor's manipulating the whole thing, which is great. It really is.
It's brilliant. It's fantastic. Moggy197, good to see you. I watched Earthshock and Tomb of the Cybermen over the weekend. Probably the most productive weekend I've had this year. That's great to know. And I'm glad you've watched Earthshock, because we are getting to that as part of our 60th anniversary of the Cybermen. So stay with us. Dr. Red Hoodwarf, good to see you. Hello to you. And Steve O'Neill saying that orange squash was specially provided in the studio for the actors playing the Cybermen, who got very hot inside their heavy costumes. I'm not sure why.
As we said just before the show started, it must have been fun for those guys upon the upper levels of the tomb climbing down those ladders in the full costume and the helmet.
With no peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Incredible, yeah.
That's
a fantastic shot, GT. That's iconic. I love that shot. Really do.
It is an iconic shot, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful, this one. And it's one of the things, again, just look at that set, everybody. I mean, this was purpose built. It was big, it was tall, and it had fellas in it in rubber suits who are.
I remember as a kid in the 70s, there's a playground that we had, and they had steps like that for a climbing frame. Don't know if you remember. And I always think that was, because I've seen the photographs on the Monster book, and you kind of thought it's like being in the tomb. It was fantastic.
Yeah. It's another example of Doctor Who from the 60s being ahead of its time, isn't it, Third Doctor Ian?
Oh.
Are you there? Can you hear us?
Good thought.
Is he stuck?
Is he stuck in the time vortex again? Is he?
Stuck. Oh no, let's just do that. He'll be back in a minute, I'm sure.
It was a lovely picture of him, nonetheless.
That was a really good lead in to introduce him, and he messed it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
How dare he?
I mean, another childhood memory which made this one so tantalizing for those of us of a certain vintage was the Radio Times 10th anniversary magazine had a couple of colour photographs of the tomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Cybermen emerging. You just looked at those and you think, wow, that must have just been so spectacular. Just long to be able to see it.
Yeah.
The ones in the real time special with Ben and Polly being chased over like Brighton Beach.
Shingle
Those
Beach,
Cybermen look amazing. They really do. Incredible. Yeah.
The thing is, as well, that was probably made with 50p.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
A pound, maybe. Yeah.
Yes, a pound, because this is bougie. But it is hilarious that what we had this time last year, and they were shouting to the heavens about the budget that they had, and it was absolute pish. Again, this is probably made with a pound, and it's brilliant. And I can totally understand, because I would have done that as a kid as well, swinging off the playground bars trying to recreate that. It's just fantastic.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, definitely.
Ian, are you with us?
I am. I could hear everything. I could hear everything before, but it was bizarrely frozen. Sorry, I am late. So, Creature from the Pit, Errata. I've watched it. I've read up on it.
You're a week early for that one. Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah, you might laugh. I was watching that the other day, so hang on to your horses, everybody.
Oh no. Okay.
Sorry, well done. Creature from the Pit is great fun. Fight me.
it is. Right.
That's going to be a show when we come around to do that. Yeah. Radium is saying to us, I love the Cyber logo table and chairs. Yeah, they're ahead of IKEA there by years, aren't they?
Yeah.
The
They like their branding, definitely. Without a doubt.
They know it. Yeah, when they've got a design there, the Cybermen don't half use it all the time for a few incarnations. And John, the cabbage, wants to know to you, George, what's missing from George's empty shelves to his right?
Oh, well, that used to be the shelves, because this room's also a home cinema. That used to be the shelves for my projector and Blu-ray player. But I've recently upgraded my projector to a very nice 4K laser 3D projector. Get me. Which actually, because of the where the lens is situated, the beam actually sits a bit lower, which is just out of camera range, and I just haven't got around to taking those shelves off the wall yet.
There you go. It'll get someone in. Rocky Terry Lee is saying to us, unlike New Who, Classic Who has proper pacing, so the story and characters can develop.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this beautiful format, Rocky Terry Lee. And this is why I always say that, 30-minute episodes today would work better. So you've got one story over 30 minutes, because you can do that with characters. You can bring in a story arc properly. You don't just cram it into 40 minutes or an hour, and everybody gets a good go at this. Because there's just so many classic, beautiful pieces in this. As I say, Maurice Barry's direction is gorgeous. The sets are beautiful, but the acting really responds to what is a cracking script. I mean, the scene between the Doctor and Victoria, as we said, is wonderful. The scenes between, there's that one I love as well, where the Doctor is saying to everybody, right, I'm about to do something that's very, very dangerous, and if any one of you want to leave the room now, you can go now. Not you, Jamie.
I love that. Yeah. There's lots of good lines. Like you could say they had a complete metal breakdown and all that stuff as well.
But Rocking Terry Lee is absolutely right here, that the balance in the script is absolutely perfect. One thing doesn't push any other element out. The character development doesn't override the adventure of the story. The humor doesn't override the tension of the story. It's just the perfect blend of all the elements in just the right quantities at the right times.
I just think it's gorgeous. The whole blooming thing. It's just a delight to watch over and over and over and over and over. ... The Tomb of the Cybermen. Thank God it was returned to us when it was. I'm going to say it again. It was released on VHS, May 1992. What a special May that was. The Doctor causes it all as if he craves the thrill, says Dalek Shalom.
Yeah.
Dr. Red Who Dwarf. Was there a reason the Cybermen of the time had a different number of digits, i.e. hands? I was wondering. Costume designers, I would reckon. Or maybe this, I don't know. There wasn't one in the show, was there? It was one that they're evolved.
Yeah.
Hang on, let's see what Kirsty's got there for you. Let's have a look. Beautiful picture.
Yeah. I mean,
really
yeah. With the exception of the Cyber Controller, they were all recycled from the moon base, weren't they? They were just the same costumes reused.
They were, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dirty Davros saying Pat Troughton is doing something very deliberate. He finds the second Doctor's character. He plays the Doctor as distracting, slightly foolish on the surface, but watch closely. He's always observing. He lives up to that infamous line, the one we've said a couple of times now, that, I keep my eyes open and my mouth shut.
Yeah.
He lives up to that, the Doctor. He is a step ahead of everybody in this one. I love it. I see it, it's another side to the second Doctor. He is one step ahead of absolutely everybody else in that tomb.
He really puts Klieg in his place. That's George Purcell's reaction to that is fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Wasn't it Toya Wilcox who thought the Cybermen to be sexy, says Matt Enspiel? Yes, in the 30 Years in the TARDIS documentary. Do you remember when she said that? We had her locked up soon after, don't worry.
Yeah.
Sheila B.
Yes.
Sheila B. in the devotion saying, these are my Cybermen. Sheila B. Are they really? Is it because of the skin tightness? Is it? But it is. I noticed one for the first time this afternoon, everybody. I noticed there's a when the Cyberman is chasing them up the ladder, there's a rip in his. I've never noticed.
Yeah,
that
it's got a big armpit rip. Yeah.
But I need to say, when Toberman throws the cyber controller, you can clearly see as he hits the floor, his head comes off.
Yeah,
but in the next shot, it's magically reattached.
Yeah. Are you saying he was a dummy before that, George?
I can just imagine everybody at the side of the set going, no, we can only do it once. We can't reset it.
I'm going back to the armpit hole, JT. I wonder if the cyber controller has a sewing machine that fixes all the Cybermen to get ripped to.
There must be a cyber sewing machine.
Well, if you look closely, Paul, when they open his tomb door, you can just see a little Singer sewing machine.
I'll need to wind that back as you can spot it. Yeah.
Made by the Cryons. I tell you. Lex, thank you for your super chat. Third Doctor Ian is becoming a Cyberman. Oh, I hope not, because his voice will go all funny. And Keith Burton saying, when Victoria is stuck in the recharge unit, you can see the Doctor waiting behind Kaftan to see what she does next. He doesn't immediately try and rescue Victoria. Troughton can be a very dark Doctor. So you're right, Keith, and the shades of Hartnell there as well, isn't there? It's lovely.
I was going to say, I wonder if he's just waiting for his cue, but that may not. I don't know.
Don't be silly, Paul.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And Michael Webster, it's good to see you. I remember the announcement in 1991 that the episodes have been recovered. I think those of us that were there are always going to remember the excitement about it. It was in the papers and everything. When it came out a few months later on VHS, I was not disappointed. It was atmospheric, brilliant acting, and a truly iconic story. Isn't it just? And Rocking Terry Lee, Kirst is saying here, estimated total budget was £8,000 to £12,000 in 1967 money. So
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Practically all the series.
That's probably why we mentioned the £50 thing as well. But the first man that gets £50. Clearly, £50 went a long way in those days. Clearly, in the 25th century as well, because it's 500 years since the Cybermen were wiped out or something. Apparently,
yes, that's right.
Is it the 25th century? And 50 quid's a lot of money. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's obviously been a financial reset somewhere along the line.
There has been, yeah.
Yes, they probably had a certain Rachel by then, Cyberknife, and she was in the cyber cabinet there. I still cannot count.
Pass me the abacus. Yeah.
Yes. But another very nice thing is the mentions of the 10th planet to the moon base.
That's
to tie it into cyber lore. Just a very quick line, not a slave to continuity or anything like that, but just a nice little touch. Where viewers will go, "Oh yeah, I remember that one."
Yeah,
and the Cybermen say, "We have knowledge of you," don't they? That's a lovely, chilling moment as well.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't happen often in original Doctor Who, but when it does, and especially in 60s Doctor Who, it must have been a lovely little reward for the kids that have been following the travels of the Doctor for this long by this point. Especially referring back to the moon base.
But they do that with the Cybermen, don't they? Because in the Invasion, they refer to meeting them on Planet 14. And you're left thinking what Planet 14 is. Is Planet 14 Telos? Is that what the Cybermen called Telos? Is that something else? It gets us guessing, it gets us thinking. But it does always hint at that kind of thing that they're, in some way, they're all linked centrally. Like Star Trek nicked, as we know, with the Borg later. But that David Banks picked up in his talks, in his tapes, with the cyber hive and everything. It does make you think all that kind of thing. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it is. I mean, now you've mentioned Planet 14. I stressed for years as a kid because I couldn't find the series, the story with Planet 14. And what episode is that? What episode is that? And it was only later on that I suddenly realized, oh, it's not. It's off screen. See? Little things like that are fantastic. The Jamie and the Doctor have met the Cybermen on Planet 14 off screen. Let your imagination go. They didn't need to actually explain it anymore. They didn't need to show it. They didn't feel compelled to show it in Pertwee's time. They didn't feel the need to do anything. Wonderful stuff. Lovely.
It'll appear in this Christmas episode. You know that, don't you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I want to say hello to Sean here. Sean Cryer. Troughton encourages the action to reveal motives. Yeah. He does, doesn't he? And he's also saying to us that this is my Doctor operating from the shadows rather than screaming his brilliance in the light of the sun, or with a high kick, I would imagine, eh, Sean? Talking of which, don't forget that the poll is still open. Who would you freeze in the tombs on Telos? I can tell you that currently at the moment, 84% of you have said RTD. 11% of you said Tennant, and 5% of you said Gatwa. So number 1 for Gatwa, number 2 for Tennant, number 3 for Eccleston, and number 4 for RTD. We'll close that down shortly. But just for fun, everybody, don't write in. Certain people don't write in. I'm doing it for fun and to wind you up. I want to talk about Victoria because I like Victoria. I mean, here she is, as I said at the top of the show, she is completely out of her depth. Literally out of her time. She's been thrown into a very modern for the time outfit with a very, very fetching handbag to go with it, with little tassels. And she's just brilliant. She really, for a Victorian lady, I think she really adapts to what's going on because her loyalty to the Doctor is already here. You know, and I love that.
She's quite feisty, isn't she? Definitely.
Yeah.
But she's got a Victorian crinoline on there, doesn't she, in the first shot?
Yeah.
The TARDIS. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just change her out because that dress wouldn't be suitable for adventuring.
No. Yeah.
So they put her into a short one.
Yeah.
But
But
high heels as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Debbie Watling really gives the character warmth and appeal. I mean, she doesn't have that much to do in the story, but
you don't notice that, George, do you? Because of what Debs is doing.
Yeah, but she instantly establishes herself as one of the leads by the end of the first episode in this. She really delivers in spades, and she's a proper Doctor Who heroine. That she's brave when she needs to be brave. She screams when there needs to be a scream, and all the rest of it. And as Barry Letts said of Liz Sladen, she could do scared and brave at the same time.
Yeah. She's got a lovely relationship with Captain Hopper as well, which is quite funny,
Don't call me
Vic. Yeah, and all that. Who'll be a woman? How would you know, honey? It's like,
and he ignores her completely, wouldn't he? He just completely ignores her. It's that lovely sort of. I mean, I love that the fact that here she is, and they don't realize they know there's something not quite right with her in a nice way. But they don't realize why. It's because she's hundreds and hundreds of years out of her time. Literally,
it's bizarre having come off the back of Master Plan. You've got these kind of Katarina similarities, haven't you? A little bit. You can see that kind of, coming through there.
Well, he's been paying attention, hasn't he, Who viewers?
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. See, this is the thing. They wrote characters beautifully back then. I miss this sort of television.
Yeah,
it's watching things like the Daleks Master Plan and then watching Tomb of the Cybermen more or less immediately after it that I've suddenly realized what quality we've had and what seems to have just been flushed down the toilet in recent years for whatever reason. Not all the time. I know All Creatures Great and Small on Channel 5 is one of my big favorites, and I love that very, very much.
The three regulars in this are so good. Troughton, Debbie Watling and Fraser Hines are so good together in this, and this is really their first proper story really together, and they just gel so well.
Yeah, exactly.
And also going back to 1992, if I remember rightly, I think at that point there were only 2 individual Debbie Watling episodes known to exist. Maybe 3 individual episodes known to exist at that point. Or was the Ice Warriors back by then as well?
Ice Warriors are back as well, but that was 91, wasn't it?
But there was certainly very few, and this was the first complete Debbie Watling story that turned up.
Yeah.
So this certainly for me was the first opportunity to see her firsthand in the role. Because, I mean, from my childhood, whenever I thought of Debbie Watling as Victoria, the first thing that always came into my head was the cover of the Ice Warriors book with her screaming with Varga behind her. That was always the image the image that I always brought to mind. But this, I just sat there and thought, you know, she really delivers in this, and the subsequent episodes that turned up, even though again at times she's not given that much to do, she always makes the most of it, and in a good way.
Yeah. But you can see why she went as well, though. But she was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I just love Victoria in this. I think she's just brilliant. And God love Debbie. Steve O'Neill saying Debbie Watling had the flu during the recording of episode 3. Oh God, did she? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh, Mike Webster saying Debbie Watling was great as Victoria. It would have been great to see her back in an anniversary story, not counting dimensions in time. Quite right too. Quite right too.
It's not canon. It's not canon.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I do remember actually. I was very fortunate that I got to meet Debbie Watling a couple of times and spend some time with her.
Yeah.
And she told me that initially she was going to do the 5 Doctors, but she had to pull out of it because she was offered the full series of Danger UXB, and the dates overlapped. So she had to withdraw her services from the 5 Doctors.
You see,
she's fantastic in Danger UXB, though. She's a lovely character in that. Yeah.
She made the right decision. Mark Reeves, thank you for your super chat. One of my favourite Hammer actors was Michael Ripper. Did he ever appear in Doctor Who? I could easily see him as a henchman. He didn't,
No,
did
sadly,
he?
No, he never did. But Michael Ripper appeared in more Hammer films than any other actor.
Did he?
Yes.
That's why he never appears in Doctor Who.
Yeah. Michael Ripper was the main Hammer actor, but no, he never did a Doctor Who.
The closest he got to Doctor Who was Wuzzle Gummidge. That's the thing.
Yes. He never actually did that much television until later on in his career. He concentrated very much on doing movies.
Good for him. More money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lex Kane saying to us here, you can still feel for Victoria. She still feels the loss of her father. I mean, that scene is legendary now, isn't it, between Victoria and the Doctor? Because as somebody who was new to Tomb of the Cybermen very, very recently, that scene, what did you think of that?
Oh, that stopped me in my tracks. I watched that this morning. I was having my breakfast and I was kind of defrosting my coffee, and then they start having that scene, and I sort of was a bit taken aback by that. It was too early in the morning.
Did you do a wee gatwa?
But I was just a bit like, oh, it was a bit too early in the morning to be a bit like wee lump in the throat sort of thing. I just thought it was beautiful. And had such meaning for all of us in various different ways. And it was just nice to watch something that wasn't slapped in your face with it. You must laugh, you must cry, you must this.
Yeah.
That you just have a moment, and you just go, oh, it was beautiful.
Oh.
It had wonderfully understated, gentle music in the background, which helped it. Whereas you know full well it would have a full orchestra now, and you'd hardly hear the words because of the music, because they just can't do it anymore. But the actual exchange, I think that's one of possibly 2 really well-known. Because even before Tomb was brought back, there was the quote, wasn't there, and everything. And there's that, and the moon-based one, also Cybermen, where there's some things in the universe that have to be fought, and it's those 2 that are key Troughton things, I think. But this scene and the gentle music behind it is beautiful. But then it contrasts, doesn't it? Because straight away they're in danger with the Cybermats coming.
Absolutely, the Cybermats.
As soon as we get that bit, then it's bang straight into the scares again.
I love that, Ian, because it works so well. Because if you're going to talk about the Doctor's past and his family, that's how you do it. You leave that little edge of mystery there, where he says, "They're in my mind." That's all you need to know. That's fine.
A door opens slightly, then it shuts again very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Opens for a moment, then shuts. That's all you need. Yeah. It's like the Doctor, the Massacre, doing that little bit. I can't go home. All that kind of stuff is brilliant. You know.
Sheila B is saying to us, TV in those days wasn't far removed from theatre. The reason being, Sheila B, is it was exactly theatre. That's what they knew. So you had, a lot of the time you had 3-walled sets. You had open out to an audience. You had, it was how it was done, because that's television was new in the 1960s.
Well, I mean, at this point, and never mind theatre, a lot of particularly BBC television was radio with pictures.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, absolutely. Desmond Llewellyn unsuccessfully sought the role of Professor Parry, says Stephen O'Neill. Really? I never knew that.
Wow.
I never knew that. And he's also telling us that Clive Merrison, this was his first TV role. Now, I did know that. I'd heard that somewhere along the line over the years. But yeah, very good. I'm going to close down the poll now, everybody. So thank you very much for taking part. It was just for fun. Don't write in. And let's have a look at this. The question was, who would you freeze in the tombs on Telos? Was it Gatwa, Tennant, Eccleston, or RTD? I can tell you that with a massive 86% of those of you watching us right now live, it would be RTD, with Tennant coming second with 10% and Gatwa with 5%. Nothing for Eccleston. Let's see if that happens. It stays the same after Sunday's headlines. But thank you for that, everybody. I'm going to stop that now just for fun. Thank you very much. And the reason, as I said there, Ian, that we're doing these polls every now and then is because I can, and I quite like.
Why not?
Well, RTD yet again proving he's the best of the best there.
Yeah.
Just how he likes it, George. Dalek Shalom saying to us, that'll be the day. It was the first time I saw Deborah. I think she was in a Cliff Richard movie too as well. She was, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Take Me High.
Which one?
Take Me High.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I used to have like a postcard, one of those art cards of the poster of that.
Yeah.
And Deb signed it for me, and I've gone and lost it somewhere.
She was a bit saucy in That'll Be the Day.
She
and
was,
Danger
wasn't
UXB as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Was she Naughty Nora in? Why do I think the name Naughty Nora? Is that what she was in Deja UXP?
She
Is
was
that
something
right?
like that, yes. A little bit, yeah.
Yes, she was a little bit of a matron, wasn't she?
Yeah.
But she loved all that stuff as well. People go on about the death rate in Fang Rock, says Steve Braddock, but it's pretty high in Tomb. Parry is the only survivor, and most of the rocket crew are also wiped out.
And one Cyberman dies death by foam as well. So yeah.
I like that though, because it shows the danger of the Cybermen.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And I want to talk. Let's talk about the Cybermen because I think they look fantastic, black and white as well. They look just superb in this story. They're just standout, gorgeous designs. I think from this, and I don't know. There's just something about them that's just so sinister with this. Here they are coming out of these massive, big freezing cabinets, a bit like in Iceland today, quite frankly. And I just think they look amazing, absolutely amazing.
Are you saying there might be fish fingers in there as well? So you're saying?
Well, might well be. I'm not sure. Kirsty's got something there. Let's have a look at that. Yes, there you go. Kirsty and I love the book there.
Classic.
I have to admit, these aren't my favourite variations of the Cybermen. I don't think they're as effective as the 10th Planet version, which I think are far more eerie. What I do like about the Cybermen here and in Moonbase is the sheer volume of them. You've got like 12, 13 of them, and that really ramps up the fact they're a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely.
But, I think the design peaked with the Invasion and Revenge.
I
don't dislike this at all, but I don't think it's the best variant that there ever was.
Fair enough.
I'm such a child. I thought that the leader looked like something
rude. Yes, yeah.
Well, the cyber controller.
I think Alpha Centauri is what you're thinking of. I think, yeah.
What does she mean? I don't know what she means. There he is presenting Countdown.
Yeah.
It is, in fact, Richard Whiteley, cybernized there in the future. Yeah, there you go. Give us a P, please.
I think his head, the head brain.
That's Blockbusters, you're thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
The glow doesn't come across as much in black and white, does it? I think was it orange in reality. I don't. I don't think it came across as much, but it took me ages to realise that variant of Cybermen had transparent handles. It took me years before I realised that. Yeah.
I mean,
one of them was nicked from outside the production office of the BBC, or a cyber helmet was. So if you're out there and you have that original cyber helmet, you can get in touch with us at whosviewsone@gmail.com. We won't pay anything, but we'll stroke it and love it, and we'll take it for a meal, and then we'll take it to a nice club. Yeah,
you'll set Kirsty up again there.
I've always assumed that the cyber controller had more flesh and blood elements than the other Cybermen, with the brain casing, and the fact he didn't have a chest unit makes me think that has he still got some flesh and blood internal organs like lungs, etc.
Ooh, that's a good point.
I love the fact that he's he's kind of he's crouching in his little tomb where they open the door with the cyber logo on it, and he's sitting there like Colossus kind of thing. It's incredible.
Like a spider.
Yeah,
he's just like a spider.
Yeah.
They probably cut the line where he said, "I must get a lock for that door."
yeah.
Oh, they bloody woke me up
He's
again.
got the Telos telegraph or something sitting there on the yeah.
As far as he
we
doesn't
need-
come out and say, "Ooh, my back," because he's been like that for hundreds of years, hasn't he? Really.
We're going into Larry Grayson territory now, actually. We shouldn't really. Sheila B, though, is getting slightly excited in the chat by going, ooh, wetsuits and vacuum cleaner hose. Steady on, Sheila B.
Practice golf balls, yeah.
Yes.
Dalek Shalom is saying, these Cybermen are great, but 10th Planet are peak, in my opinion. Thank you for that, Dalek Shalom. And Graham. First time I saw a pic of the cyber controller as a boy, I thought, where are his ears? They were cut off in Cybernation. Rockin' Terry Lee is also saying the vinyl release of Tomb is very nice. Now, I missed out on that. And one of the reasons I missed out on that is because I didn't like the cover. Isn't that pathetic? Did not like that artwork. I thought, oh no, I'll wait till they re-release it with a better cover. And they still haven't. It's a silver screen. When you find this, could you please re-release that with my list that I've been sending you every other week? Thanks very much. Lex came for a super chat. Thank you. Doctor Who episode titled Doctor Who Terror Fish Fingers. Stop giving them ideas. That's what's coming at Christmas now. You'll know that. And Dirty Davros is saying for some reason this is the perfect representation of the UK's Green Party. You may think that. We couldn't possibly.
What? A bunch of unhinged people in an echo chamber.
Yeah. Well, he can go. Michael Webster saying, the actor who played Toberman, did he also appear as a strongman in Terror of the Autons?
Yes, Rory Stewart. He was also Quarrel Jr., Bond's ally in Live and Let Die, amongst other things.
That's right, the other place I've seen him. Because that was on the other day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know you. And that didn't click until you've just said, what do I know you? I even watched it again this afternoon.
He did a couple of Hammer films as well.
What, as Frankenstein or something? Tall guy, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. Tall guy. Really tall guy. Again, that was based on that strength when you with that character. He was like, here's a guy that, just brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And Steve Braddock is saying, and the Cybermen had those little plastic golf balls with the holes. We used to have them in school PE. We did, didn't we?
Yeah,
remember that, everyone? Yeah, fabulous they were. But yeah, I mean, they're just wonderful. The whole thing about this is just wonderful for me. I love this story so much. Just because of, I think it's also quite special. Like you can laugh at me in the audience if you like, but the Crotons is special to me because it was the first Troughton I saw in 1981. Yeah. And the whole thing about when it came back and how excited we were from the moment it hit the papers, because in those days, Kirsty, you had to get things from the newspapers, because we didn't have the internet properly. And it was just all so exciting. So sitting down on that Monday in May 92 and watching it was a thrill. And I think that's why it's also special.
There was a fear though as well, wasn't there? Did you all feel the fear when you were watching it as well? Because I was watching it with a friend. We made a huge point of it, and the titles came on, and we had to stop it for a moment because and take a bit of a breath because it was one of those "is this really happening?" moments. Mm-hmm. But then Tomb had been built up to be the absolute peak missing story that was also a classic and was also possibly one of the best Troughtons ever. And over time, that had just been built up more and more and more. So then you're about to watch it, and it's like meeting your heroes, isn't it? Does that risk? They might be a tosser. This might be crap, actually, after all. And there was that risk. And then that whole idea, that myth that had built up around it would have been smashed completely. But the wonderful thing about Tomb is that it wasn't. It really was as good as it had been built up to be. And that was just... And we watched the whole thing, and then we did the whole damn thing again because it was just off the charts. It really was.
Well, I said earlier, and I had that exact reaction to it. I actually was a bit disappointed with it because I've been so hyped up. I didn't dislike it. I just thought it was okay. And then I watched it again and I got more into it and then really loved it. But my initial first reaction was like, I'm not sure about this, because there are some slightly eggy moments in it, let's be honest, but it's still fantastic nonetheless. I mean, I know you wouldn't have seen the wire when Toberman gets picked up and stuff like that, but when you see them all cleaned up, you can pick up bits which doesn't sell as well as it should, but it's still fantastic now. I love it now without a doubt. But the first
Oh,
time,
totally.
I wasn't sure, you know. But
I remember at the time when it came out in the 1992. Putting it into context, we have to remember that Doctor Who was by this time off air. It had gone. So this is exactly what we've just experienced with Dalek Master Plan. It was brand new Doctor Who, and that for me was why I remember opening, taking that cling film type stuff, the cellophane off the, and just literally just going, oh my god, with that beautiful cover, and opening the thing and just going, oh my god, and putting the video in the machine, just like, oh my god. And I watched it by myself, Ian, because I was selfish. I mean, I didn't want to watch it with anyone else because I just knew if any of the others were around me, it'd be all I just wanted to watch it by myself in silence. Do you know what I mean? With the curtains drawn. Not go that far, but it was a case of very special. Getting home that night after work, having rushed out first thing the morning before work to buy the thing.
Yeah.
And then all day just going up to my locker every morning. Oh, look at this.
And the day goes so slowly because you're looking forward to something.
Well, I do remember that. Thinking, come on, go on. What we got here? It's Keith Burton saying to us, classic Cybermen are walking dead bodies wrapped up in body bags. That's forgotten in New Who, where they're just tin robots. Now, we mentioned that when we looked at the Age of Steel episodes. We did mention that for me, I'm with you, Keith. I think that clanging, hydraulic nonsense. Here, the Cybermen walk around that beautiful set, which is quite funny.
They sneak up on you, don't they? They sneak up on you when they grab Klieg from and they strangle him. That you get such a shock.
Yeah,
you know?
But because they're walking around the set beautifully as well. I just think that's how they should be. Absolutely. And the black and white helps. I've said this before. The black and white helps to make the Cybermen, especially as you were saying, George, because they are filmed a certain way by Maurice Barry. Absolutely superb. Michael Webster, thank you for your super chat. And he's saying to us, whose views rules? Thank you, Michael. We do our best. Really appreciate it. Oh, look, you got an air kiss there from the lady of the chat herself. That's very rare. Yes. But thank you, Michael. Really, really appreciate that. Dirty Davros is also saying, I love these live streams. I see these great stories through other fans' eyes. That's the brilliant thing about this, Dirty Davros, because what we're trying to recreate here with all these lovely live streams we do is what we used to do when we met in pubs back in the day. And we'd all talk, especially in the 90s when the show was off air and we were all reminiscing as we were growing up, Fantastic. So I'm glad you appreciate it, Dirty Davros. And hello to Michael Barton, who's saying, hi, I've just joined. Nice to see you. Welcome to Who's Views. I've loved watching this on video back in the early 90s. It's absolutely amazing. It certainly did not disappoint. I take it, Michael, you were just as excited as the rest of us, and did you go to Woolies the week before to get it? Or were you was it HMV or Tower that opened at midnight?
Don't know.
I can't remember. It must have been Virgin because they were all around back then in the good old days. Kirsty wouldn't believe it. Oh, let's have a look at this from Third Doctor Ian. Look at that. There it is. Yeah, you can see the foily thing. Look at that.
Oh, so pretty.
Isn't it, Kirst?
Oh, she pretty.
And it just showed how special this story was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, what did it say on the front of it? The little red stripe again. What did it say on the front? There's a kind of
flash.
Not seen for 25 years or whatever. Was it? Or something.
So, missing, presumed dead, returned to BBC Video after 20 years.
It was a bit on the corner of the front page.
Starring Patrick Troughton and exclusive introduction by director Maurice Barry.
Right,
that's where he looked pinned against the wall like somebody had a gun on him. And inside,
I mean, it was special. I mean, in those days, I mean, that was the big thing, as we're saying here, the return of this beautiful 4-part story. And they made it special as they could do at the time with that. I remember being so impressed by that, just thinking, oh my God, they've actually thought about this. How lovely. And yet kept it within the Rangers design. But then they did it again for the Ice Warriors, and they did it again for the Crusade. And it was just putting that little bit of imagination in it. Although the Crusade was a bloody bugger to shelve. Do you remember, everybody?
The box set,
Yeah, it was like, oh, where's that going to go? Oh,
it's like the 1977 Doctor Who annual. There's the wrong size. For goodness sake.
50 years of pain.
This is what fans do. We loved it. We absolutely loved it. Hello, let's have a look at this from Steve O'Neill. It's full of lovely facts for us this evening. Thank you, Steve. Shirley Cooklin, who was Kaftan, was married to the producer Peter Bryant. Her character was written especially for her by Jerry Davis. Fraser Hines actually flirted with her. Well, no shock there, please.
Yeah.
He was
Funny
flirting
that,
with
yeah.
Cybermen. He didn't care, did he?
No, I mean, he's still to this day, isn't he? Hello. I said, get off. And Sheila B is saying to us, yes, indeed, I'm a cyber junkie. Well, I hope you're loving this year with us here on Whose View, Sheila B in the devotion, because it's only, April. We've got a lot more cyber stories coming for you as we celebrate 60 years of the Cybermen here on Whose Views this 2026. Can we ever just imagine 60 years of them? What else we got in the chat? Oh, Michael's saying he bought it at W.H. Smith. I've forgotten about them.
They no longer exist, apparently.
No, they don't. They're called
only
TJ
airports.
Yeah. Derek Hart is saying, TJ, he calls me TJ. The ratings are in. There are more Whose Views viewers than watching Tennant's 20th shows on BBC Three.
I forgot it was on. Yeah.
I didn't even know they were on.
There is. Yeah. Of course there is. And Keith Burton saying, guys, Tomb is a Hammer horror tale, really. It would be at home as a Hinchcliffe story. That's a good point, isn't it, from Keith there? It would. He's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He'd probably put a bit more oomph in it, but you're absolutely right, actually. It's weird how Jerry Davis didn't present him with a story quite like this.
Well, like Hinchcliffe, it got into a lot of trouble as well, didn't it? It was a lot of complaints about the violence, wasn't there?
There was. The BBC got letters, everybody.
Not from the kids watching it, though.
No, they loved it. Yeah.
From the adults around them and from certain watchdogs.
Because wasn't Kit Pedler on Junior Points of View or something at one point, having to defend himself?
I think the popularity of this at the time, a good pointer to that is the way this story was, homaged on the cover of the 1969 Doctor Who annual.
Yes. Yeah, that lovely cover.
To the point where the cyber controller's on it as well. I mean, I think that's the single best cover a Doctor Who annual's ever had.
Oh yeah,
wonderful piece of artwork. But I mean, that's certainly a carryover from this story.
In those beautiful days when they actually painted art.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying there's anything wrong with today's stuff. I am. No. And I mean, there's so many beautiful. Because I usually ask you guys and you guys in the chat as well about favorite standout moments. It's so difficult to do it. Rewatching this again this afternoon, I couldn't possibly ask that because there's so many, isn't there? It's just incredible. And you're right, actually, in the chat. This script would have made a lovely movie. A lovely movie. And it would do still to this day, although it would feel a little bit more alienish, of course. But it's amazing how it would work, guys, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
I think it could easily work as a big movie. There's, like you say, there's so many kind of moments that you adore. The one that still tickles me though is when they blow the doors off the tomb and everyone cheers. So it's like 6 people cheering. It's a bit, They do a similar thing in Moonbase as well when they defeat the Cybermen. So it's a Morris Barry trait, but it makes me laugh every time I see it.
I just love the way. I never met Morris Barry either. But I wish I had, because there's so many things I'd like to ask him about. He has this beautiful way of handling a production, especially something like, from our experience from Doctor Who, the Cybermen come across so well. The characterizations, the shots of the character, everyone's done justice.
The advantage I think Morris Barry had doing this one was he already had one Cyberman story under his belt. So, he came to going, right, I know how I can make these look really menacing. I know which shots are going to really work here. I know which ones to avoid. Because, this was his second time round with the Cybermen in, 8 months? Something like that?
Definitely within the year. It's just, I'm going to use the term magical. I'm just so impressed. I remember being back in 92 watching this and being impressed by that as well. Just everything just floating and making sense and working, and nothing rushed, even though it probably was. And it's just, it's the 1960s, And it was just so well done. And again, it's one of these episode 2 viewers that I think you could show Tomb of the Cybermen today on BBC4 and it would work. It would look gorgeous as long as it's not colorized and edited to hell.
Have they repeated it? Did they repeat it for any repeat season on BBC Two at all? Did they?
Not that I'm aware. I can't remember it ever getting a TV outing.
No.
Yeah.
No, if it did, it passed me by.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it ever has. We've not got anything on any of the notes here about it being repeated.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was.
You know, all the digital channels over the years, starting what was the UK Gold, the first one to screen.
I think so. Yeah. Or BS as it was called then, wasn't it? BS.
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a question for you, panel, from Michael Barton, who's saying, do you think if Doctor Who returns, it can ever reach the heights of Tomb of the Cybermen, especially as viewing figures and the way people watching TV has changed? Because I didn't enjoy the last 2 series, unfortunately. That's your question, Michael. What do you think to that? What, do you think it could?
No. I say no, because I think current Doctor Who is just way too tainted now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's all of our opinions here, Michael.
To me, I mean, using myself as an example, it's tainted to the point where people actively avoid it, not just, oh, well, let's stick the TV on what's on. Oh, let's watch Doctor Who. You know, people go, Doctor Who, no, change channels.
Yeah.
So there you go, Michael. I hope that's
if you gave it a few years and then brought it back in something that was like, I don't know, episodic, but later in the evening, and really gave it a proper build up and took it seriously and did it in the way that it was always meant to be, like in the 60s and 70s, then it could probably find quite an audience. But you're right, it's too tainted at the minute. It's toxic, and you can only get rid of that toxicity by leaving it buried for quite a few years, unfortunately.
It's also they're too scared to frighten children anymore in this kind of genre, which is a real shame. So you never get that kind of atmosphere of thrills as an audience viewer. You know what I mean? Which is such a shame, because this has it in spades. This story, really, you know.
I mean, the other thing that really highlights that for me is how well the 2 episodes of Dalek Master Plan have been received, not just by the likes of us, but by every, the public at large.
Yes,
they've had such a positive reception that it just highlights how far the show has fallen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, totally agree. It's sad, isn't it? Really, but also you can see, can't you, as we all watch this to come together on our shows here, and we all talk about it. You can see the quality has just. It's far superior back in the day. I'm going to say that. I know a minority will be upset with me saying that. I don't care. It's my opinion. The quality of Tomb of the Cybermen beats anything that I've watched over the last couple of years. We've got this from Stephen O'Neill also saying this is one of 2 season premieres to feature the Cybermen, Attack of the Cybermen being the other. Strange you should mention that, Stephen O'Neill, and the rest of you, because guess what we're going to next? The direct sequel to Tomb of the Cybermen, of course. Peter Wilcock is with us. Hi, Pete. Hi, all. I remember as a kid wishing this novel especially had illustrations. Imagine breaking into the tomb, the cyber dummy, Cybermats attacking, Toberman getting it on with the cyber controller, etc. Getting it on.
And I know we're kind of going to speak about it later, but it's interesting. This cyber controller had a makeover of the tombs when they came back for Attack of the Cybermen.
He was busy, wasn't he?
He was busy, yeah.
And a bit of a makeover himself, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah,
probably a good job it didn't have illustrations, really, because they got the front illustration wrong, didn't they, with an Invasion Cyberman? So God knows what the internal ones would have been like.
So I remember decades later, it was Jeff Cummings who did that cover, wasn't it? Yeah. He redid the same cover with the correct Cyberman on it many years later.
Yeah.
It was too late, George.
It's a cracking cover anyway, regardless of the wrong Cyberman, isn't it?
Yeah, too late.
Yeah.
But again, he was probably given one reference photo from the Invasion, and that was it.
Yeah. Probably. And also, of course, when they reprinted it for the Blue Spine range, they used the cover from Alistair from the video. Because they were trying to tie everything in with the videos at that point, weren't they? Do you remember? Everything had the video cover, and so they went and did the photographic.
but I mean, as we said before, this was such a huge seller on video when it came out. It makes perfect business sense to tie it in with the video release.
Yeah,
it did. It absolutely did. Yeah, it's just that they did it all over, didn't they, with all of them? Great to see you all, everybody. Steve Braddock saying to us that I saw this in 2013 at the NFT in London for the 50th anniversary. What a day! Oh,
Nice.
very nice. Yeah, would have been lovely, wouldn't it? Would have been lovely. And Cara, the Tolkien nerd, is saying, JT, I shouldn't offer this, but I found a copy of Tom Baker, The Hound of the Baskervilles. I could copy it, although I'm not supposed to say that. No, you're not. You're very, very naughty. Very naughty, Cara. Yeah. You're in the chat, aren't you? You're in the chat. Yes. Yeah, I must sort that. We've actually got that now because we've got copies of that. And I must get that sorted for the guys because I want to do it as a Christmas special. Because one of our lovely viewers sent it in to us. So thank you. Derek Hart, Tomb was so atmospheric and mysterious in episode 1. It was, wasn't it? And the music was so good, as we said before. The whole build up to this, everybody knew. I mean, the thing's called Tomb of the Cybermen, but the whole thing about this was the getting to the reveal. Where exactly are they? What is the tomb like? What does it actually mean? I love that anticipation because you can sort of relax because you know they're there. Because because it's Tomb of the Cybermen, so you sort of relax with that, and then the anticipation is about when's the Doctor going to meet them. I love it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? There's something that's been bothering me for a long time about this. The baby Cybermat, is that simply a continuity error, or was it meant to be that size originally, and then they brought them bigger for the episode 3 and 4? Well, any idea why there's a difference?
Isn't that the one
It
that she put?
wouldn't, it wouldn't have fitted in her handbag.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Because she's not got a bigger handbag then.
The thing that's again very minor point about this and Wheel in Space and Revenge is what are Cybermats? I mean, did the Cybermen put some local, as Jamie said, caterpillars or grasshoppers through the cybernetics process just for the sheer hell of it?
I always thought Cybermats sounded like
serve.
I always thought Cybermats were like something a Cyberman have outside his front door before he goes in.
I suppose they could have been local little creatures that they practice on, couldn't they? But I mean, remember in one of Matt Smith's Cyberman stories, Nightmare in Silver, I think it was, they had cybermites.
They were quite good, actually. They worked quite well.
They were very good. They were like millipedes. They were like millipedes. I thought they were really good. Much better than the Cybermats. Much better than the Cybermats that they had with the gnashing teeth, which you thought were naff.
Hang on. Kirsty's got something there. This might remind me who of you because my memory's terrible.
No, that's the Cybermat. That's closing time.
I don't remember that at all.
That had the front of it opened up and you saw a set of teeth.
They were like dentures, weren't they? They looked really weird.
Yeah, it looked rubbish. But in Nightmare in Silver, that they had these little cyber mites crawling over, and they really, really, really did look good. And I didn't know whether or not they were like an equivalent, really. So I just tend to look at them as two different kind of like species, really, although they do visually look similar, just different.
Well, you also get those the cyber shades in the next Doctor. Here he is plugging episodes that we're going to be reviewing in the future.
What were the cyber shades? I have no idea.
I don't know, but they lost their lampshade, didn't they? Listen, people are saying to us in the chat that the story was chosen to represent the Patrick Troughton era by fans and was rebroadcast for Doctor Who at 40.
Oh, right. Okay.
Wow.
There you go. So yeah, we were sort of right. That would have been, I would imagine, BSB Sky, Doctor Who 40. I can't remember. Right. Oh, Kirsty's got something. Let's just have a look at this.
Is it? Where are we? Where my nails are? Is it?
Oh,
wrong way.
Yeah.
I didn't remember them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like little mites, little kind of creepy crawlies. Yeah.
Ooh, don't remember them. Well, that's coming up in the show. On the
Mind you,
that entire episode. Spoilers coming up.
The Cybermat in Revenge is completely different again, though, isn't it? So
as we talked about in our review, we've got a question here.
Bigger as well.
Sorry.
Much bigger in Revenge as well.
Was as well, yeah. We've got a question for the panel here from Dirty Davros, who's saying to the panel, are there any figures from Tomb of the Cybermen on your wish list? Second Doctor in a cloak, Jamie Toberman 12-inch figure box set made like the Tomb. So because we're all sort of geeky action figure people here, anything that comes to mind for you guys for Dirty Davros there?
Do we have any Cybermats, the Tomb ones at all, as figures? No.
Yes. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got one. Yeah.
Probably put it in.
We don't have any Jamie or Victoria figures. I think the companions and everything from Troughton have not really been served, have they? We've got like the invasion style brigadier, haven't we? But that's it. Jamie and Victoria would be nice. But then I think Jamie, Victoria, and a Yeti, you see, and that takes us away from the Cybermen, because we've had lots of Cybermen, haven't we? And we've had the controller in various variants. So it's more just filling in the gaps from Troughton. Yeti,
I would like a server robot from Wheel would be quite nice, but
Quarks.
No, I mean, I was quite late to the character options party, and one of the regrets I have is when I first went down the rabbit hole. I was very fortunate that I stumbled across a B&M that had a load of sets that had been released that I hadn't bought up to that point, which they were selling at a clearance price. I remember there was a set with an invasion Cyberman, an ice warrior, and something else. There were 3 monsters in the pack. I can't remember what the third one was now, but there was another pack which had a new Series Sontaran, a Cyberman, and the Cyber Controller from Tomb. And I had it in my hand. I went $7.99. I'm not paying that for just one figure. Put it back and walked off. And it's like, oh. So, character options. If you're listening, if you're going to do a B&M Tomb of the Cybermen set, no problems with reissuing the Cyber Controller again.
I was very hopeful because we had the re-release of the Revenge of the Cybermen set. I was very hopeful, but nothing's coming from them this summer, as far as we know. Although we do know that there are at least 3 other online exclusives from Character coming. So, Character, it's the Cybermen's 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
Come on. Never mind Tegan Javanka. Let's have action.
Can you get that?
What's this? Hang on a sec. Oh, my fingers. There we go.
That's one of the Cybermen that came with and this one, if I can get it on another finger without dropping them, is the mini one. The mini one.
All right,
They are totally small, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So.
Don't let them around small children, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for that, Ian. Hello to Alphabet Cat, that's joined us as well. And a couple of you were in chat were saying, excuse me, that the scene of the Cybermen breaking out of the tombs was filmed entirely in one take. Yes, we're led to believe. And also that Maurice Barry was so impressed by the design work of the Cyber Tombs by Martin Johnson, Peter Bryant claimed that Sidney Newman called him to praise the story. Now, I've heard that one before as well somewhere. So that would have been funny from the man that never wanted bug-eyed monsters in the show, eh? Yeah. Hello to Stevie and Jeannie Frith. Nice to see you. I find it almost hard to believe that there was a time Tomb of the Cybermen wasn't available in the archive for a time. It was found in Hong Kong in 1992. Yes, it was. It's a stone cold classic. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're just going. We were saying, Steve, we were going through this whole thing again now with the recovery of 2 episodes of the Daleks Master Plan. It's a very similar effect, really. You're thinking, oh my God, you know, but it's on the iPlayer and everything now. I mean, who'd have thought that back in the late 80s? Amazing.
Though technically it wasn't found. The broadcaster in Hong Kong, I forget the channel name now, they contacted the BBC and said, oh, we found some episodes of Doctor Who in our archive. Do you want them back? And BBC said, yeah, sure, what are they? They turned out to be Tomb of the Cybermen.
And then they went on to make a hell of a lot of money. Because as we were saying before, and as Alphabet Cat is saying, the VHS release went into #1, the video chart, beating Silence of the Lambs.
It was Silence of the Lambs,
Fantastic stuff, wasn't it? Michael Webster wants to know, I wonder if cyber crotch was a thing in the 1960s, because it certainly was by the time Silver Nemesis rolled around. Yeah, no, it was just the rip, wasn't it? Just the rip there in the suit. That's all. No, I love all that. It was good. I mean, it's just, I don't know, just fantastic, wasn't it? Sean Cryer, what are you saying to us? The thing was with Sidney was he was prepared to admit when he was wrong, unlike RTD and Moffat. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Mr. Newman was, and he went on record, didn't he, saying, I'm just going to leave you to it. You guys know more about this.
Point in case there, the Daleks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Which led, of course, to the whole thing about all the monsters coming in. And if it hadn't been for the Daleks, we wouldn't have had the Cybermen as the second big bad of Doctor Who. And we wouldn't be here now celebrating 60 years of them. Amazing stuff, isn't it? When you look back at the history of everything just that these people gave us. absolutely superb. So I mean, are there any particular favorites from you guys in these 4 episodes, or anything that when somebody says Tomb of the Cybermen to you, you go, yeah, that bit?
Well, I mean, in amongst so much good stuff, one really standout moment for me, which is pure Doctor Who, is, as we said before, the absolutely fantastic shot on film sequence of the Cybermen waking up and emerging from the tombs.
Yeah.
I mean, that in a minute screen time is exactly what Doctor Who is at its best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like the opening scene, surprisingly long without the Doctor and companions, really. You have this quite drawn out opening scene, which is quite interesting. And the alien planet looks like an alien planet. It's filmed, again, Maurice Barry, it's superb. But the shot where the spaceship is framed, it looks like it's got scale. They've got it just right. And where they're all sort of like, and the explosion that they do, I think they put bags of cement over the explosions, didn't they, to emphasize the blast.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The whole opening scene. And it's accompanied, of course, by, there is a wonderful piece of Daryl Joyce art, which is one of my alternating screensavers, which I have pinched from him completely unapologetically, of that scene where they're just coming up the cliffs with the spaceship in the background. It looks superb, and it was I love that opening scene. It just sets that story up perfect, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole sequence when they're coming out the tombs, and I was joking about the Kling film stuff. I love all that. Them coming out of the tombs is so good and so atmospheric and so creepy, and it just works so well. And it's iconic. It really is an iconic image of Doctor Who, and it just screams Doctor Who. Really does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Kirst? Anything from our most recent viewer here on the panel?
Oh, I thought that was wicked, that whole section, that it was just what we've been missing, what we need, what we wanted. But I was just, as I said earlier on, bloody loved it when, what was the game that Jim Davison used to host on a Saturday night that had the conveyor belt with all the things?
Generation game. Yeah.
The Cybermen dummy that they have swung like something at the Generation game with the gun as well. I just thought that was fantastic. I don't know, tickled me funny since I watched it on Tuesday night. I just thought, whoa, didn't expect that. And actually, as we said earlier on, how violent it actually was. I quite liked that. That as soon as you're in the quarry, it is well and truly off to the races. There's no diddle daddling. There's no having to think they're intelligent by trying to tell the story in so many different ways and go through different fields. It was just, you were straight in the action, which is what we needed. But yeah, that whole swinging Generation game style Cyberman has tickled me pink. That I was just like, yeah, that's Cyberman.
I love it.
I'm so jealous, Kirsty, you've got to see it for the first time now. Which is, I wish I was in your position. I really am.
Well, you were once, Paul.
I was once. Yeah.
Though I have to say, I've literally lost count of the number of times I've watched it since 1992, but it's never once lost its allure. I enjoy it just as much now as I did way back then.
Yeah. I remember.
I enjoy it more now, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, I remember. I mean, it was a great feeling that we'd all bought this thing on that particular day in May 1992, and we were all going to watch it during that day or that evening, depending on our circumstances, and certainly through that week. But I remember as well, the week after the video came out, going to a local group in Glasgow, and we all watched it there together as well, which was just stunning, on this sort of, well, it was a big fat TV thing, really. But it was just amazing. What would they call widescreen televisions back in the day? It probably wasn't. Now looking at it, but it was a joy to sit there. That was when I remember thinking at that particular point, I was right to watch this by myself last week, because everyone was shut up. It was brilliant. Lex is saying to us here that the 2002 DVD release of The Tomb of the Cybermen was a major commercial success, reaching #1 on the official UK DV charts upon its release. And it's no surprise to any of us, is it? I mean, this is one of those how many bites of the cherry can you have? Now, actually, I have to say to you, Lex, and
How many have we got?
I reckon if they brought out this special edition of the Tomb of the Cybermen now on a steelbook, I think we'd all buy it again.
I was going to say, I'm surprised that BBC Studios haven't released this as a standalone Blu-ray special edition.
Yeah.
I'm sure it must be on the way. I'm sure, probably as a steelbook for about 50 quid.
Did they vid fire it for the DVD or not? I can't remember.
I think the second DVD release that it got completely vid fired.
Yeah,
I seem to remember there was an Easter egg in the first DVD of the sequence of the Doctor and Victoria talking that got vid fired just as a standalone scene.
Yeah.
And then the second time it got released, the whole thing was done.
I thought I had, yeah.
I mean, what a great way to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Cybermen if they brought out a steelbook of this thing on Blu-ray. Wouldn't that be amazing? Because there's only one other thing that could really, really top that, and that would be the release of and the discovery of Part 4 of the 10th Planet. That would be also very good, wouldn't it? It'd be
fantastic. Yeah.
No pressure. Film is fabulous.
Yeah, no pressure at all. Yeah.
And we've got, I know I've mentioned it many times in the past, Stephen O'Neill, but I'd love this story to be released as a standalone Blu-ray, like the Web of It. Who knows what could be happening? Agent James saying to you, George, I agree, George. I'm really surprised we haven't got this on the Blu-ray as a standalone. Yes, we would all buy it again. We certainly would, making it probably the fourth time that a lot of us have bought this thing. But who would care? Because it's brilliant. It's BBC Studios. What are you doing? I keep asking it. It's there for you. It's prime for the picking. Take our grottits.
Yes. Another way to enjoy this is the audio novel is read by Michael Kilgarriff.
Oh yes,
and it's a very, very good recording. Well worth writing down if you don't have it.
See, I grew up with the John Pertwee one. It wasn't amazing. Do you remember when the BBC Radio collection, there was a big fuss about we're releasing as part of our the missing episodes thing, the Tomb of the Cybermen on audio with the linking narration by John Pertwee. Yeah. And then, of course, they had to change their plans very, very quickly and take it out of the missing episodes. But they still released it. It was brilliant.
Am I right? I seem to have a memory. Am I right in thinking that they withdrew it quite quickly because it was found and put out on VHS, and not that many copies of the audio version, the original audio version, made it out into the wild.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff from memory. I seem to remember at the time because I remember seeing it coming, so you could pre-order it because I was working in the book industry at the time, and you could pre-order it, and it was part of the missing episodes, like The Evil of the Daleks and Power of the Daleks, which were read by Tom. Linked by Tom, and then this one was coming with John, and it was part of that whole missing episode thing. And I remember them very quickly going, "Oh my God, no, it's still going to be released, but we're taking the missing episode thing away from it." I think. I can't remember because I can't go up and look at it because it's upstairs. But it wasn't around for too long unless it was ordered into the shops because the VHS was the priority, and by God, it worked for them. But that stuff there. Has it been re-released? The one by Pertwee? Has that been available on CD? Is it available on download? Let me know in the chat.
That would be an ideal bonus feature to put on, like a Blu-ray release or something.
Wouldn't it just? Because John, because it was on cassette, it was on 2 cassettes, and I've only listened to it once because I was always terrified with Doctor Who cassettes. And he was brilliant. Because
you remember if they started to unravel, you had to get the pencil out and do that to fix it. Yeah.
That's what always frightened me. You put the Doctor Who cassette into the tape machine and go, "Don't play up, don't you dare." Yeah, happy days, eh? Happy days. But if you know if it's been on download or if it's been re-released, please let us know in the chat for me. Thank you for joining us here. Any memories that you guys know? What screams Tomb of the Cybermen? Let us know in the chat, please. That would be fantastic. Rocking Terry Lee, what were you talking about here? What's this? Who? What? Never heard of them. No, I don't know what that is. No, what a load of rubbish. And Dalek Shalom saying to us, initially, I watched all the episodes with Daleks, then with Cybermen before watching everything else available. Well, good for you, Dalek Shalom. And I wonder why you went for the Daleks first, Dalek Shalom. I don't know. There is this lovely story as well, of course, when you're doing your research, everybody, that you know about that. It was so hot when they were filming at Lime Grove Studios that summer that Shirley Cooklan apparently fell asleep while playing Captain's corpse. Her castmates only realized she was asleep when she started snoring. I love little scenes like little stories like that. It's absolutely fantastic. Oh, wonderful stuff. You can see why this story was popular. And Ian, you weren't with us at the beginning of the show. Episode 1 got 6.0 million viewers. Episode 2, 6.4. Episode 3, 7.2. And episode 4, 7.4. So it crept up. The word of mouth happened. This must have been the kids as well talking about the Cybermen are back and it's this and it's this. That's the way it should happen, isn't it, really? From a very healthy start to a very healthier finish. Wonderful stuff.
And it's the start, isn't it? It's the real proper start with Evil of the Daleks, but it's the real start of that Troughton Monster Years thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really. That's where it really kicked in. Because I know we started with Power of the Daleks and then the Highlanders, and obviously Moonbase. But it sort of like was in and out with the monsters, and then boom, it really found its groove.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I think the other thing to bear in mind, the quality of these 4 episodes being so good was, it's worth remembering at this time in the 1960s, the production of Doctor Who was a real conveyor belt. It was 52 weeks a year.
Yeah. And nobody's knees were hurting.
Once it started, you couldn't get off.
Yeah.
You didn't have the luxury of time to do reshoots or loads of post-production work or any post-production work.
Yeah.
The point of the camera and just hope they got it right.
Exactly. Yeah. No, they did, didn't they?
And it's amazing how good it actually is, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah, because of that. But I mean, Doctor Who was a factory before the modern stuff was even a glint in anybody's eyes. As these kids who were doing the modern stuff were just kids, you know.
Yeah.
The Cyberman's trombone theme is fantastic, says Dave Townhill. It's actually a classic, isn't it? Now, even today, if I see a Cyberman, it's in my head. You can't even hum it, can we? But never mind. And
didn't they, in Web? Did they use it for the Yeti in Web?
They did, yes.
In Covent Garden, yeah.
It was a library music cue called Space Adventure Number 4.
Yeah.
That's it.
So if you just type that into a search engine, I'm sure you'll find it.
I think it is here on this the Tube of Who, everybody.
Yeah,
it's certainly on loads of Doctor Who soundtrack CDs.
It is, yeah. And if you're looking for it, I'm sure you can find it on various websites, but you might even want to try the Who shop.
You'd think it was purpose written for the Cybermen, though, wouldn't you? Because it fits them perfectly.
Perfectly.
I mean, it was used in 10th Planet, Moonbase, and Tomb. As the cyber theme.
Yeah. And Malcolm Hulke years later does the same trick, doesn't he? Really, where he comes up with his own cyber suite. Absolutely superb. Fantastic. Listen, if you are new to us here on the channel, welcome. Please subscribe. This is the point of the show where I ask the panel and you in the chat for your scores on the TARDIS doors. So this is where I'm going to ask you to give the Tomb of the Cybermen a mark out of 10. Out of 10. You can start putting that in the chat now. We'll get through them all while we run the VT. Right. So thank you all for this. This has been great. Graham is saying to us here, imagine seeing season 5 as a kid. So many wonderful monsters. Yeah. I mean, wow.
Actually, Graham, if you've ever read Patrick Troughton's biography written by his son, Michael, apparently Patrick Troughton used to send postcards to Michael every week while Doctor Who was in production because his son was a big Doctor Who fan. And during season 5, he always said, the monsters and the design are great, they're brilliant, but it's the same story again, just with a different set of characters. And the one time that season 5 broke the mold with Enemy of the World, his postcard said something like, we're doing something different, but I'm really worried the kids will just find this one boring.
Yeah.
And we did. He was right. Genius. Reverend Steve Amaray, Evening Goal. It's a great serial. It is, isn't it, Reverend Steve? And we're just about to find out how great, as I go to the panel now, if we'd start with Paul, your scores on the TARDIS door for the Tomb of the Cybermen.
Well, as I said earlier, when I first saw this, I was a bit disappointed originally. I didn't hate it, but I've watched it so many times now. There's so much goodness in it, we said already. The Cybermen are superb in this. The opening shot of the TARDIS is wonderful. The regulars are great. great performances, great action, great kind of tension. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. I absolutely adore it.
Fabulous. George, what about you?
I'm of exactly the same mind. It's an absolutely stone cold classic Doctor Who story. I said long ago, lost count of the number of times I've watched it. I enjoy it just as much on however many times I've watched it as I did the very first time. To this day, I still look at it and think, I can't believe this is back with us. That even though it's now been with us for longer than it was missing, it's still incredible that it's been found. And we can all enjoy it. There are so many absolutely classic moments. Patrick Troughton is absolutely flawless. He's absolutely brilliant in this. And it can't be anything less than a 10. This is a must-see.
Superb. Kirsty, lady of the chat, what about you?
Oh, yeah. I thought it was brilliant. I can see in a few of us been in the chat that Matt Smith used this as, or we all know that he used Patrick as a source of inspiration for creating his version. And apparently this was one of his favourite episodes when looking over actual Doctor Who. So it's quite nice in a way of being a flower child, of growing up in that period of Doctor Who, that are still clever actors out there that actually don't defecate on source material. So that's quite nice seeing them sitting on both sides of the fence, that some of the stuff that I grew up with is a bit ropey, but actually there are people out there doing some good stuff. So using that as a sort of piece of source material is totally on it and very clever. I would watch this again. Loved the scene with him and Victoria, which circles back to Matt, that it was that idea of the Doctor is the Doctor for me, that he is the smartest man in the room and is 2 steps ahead of everyone, but sometimes not letting that on, that he knows that you know that he knows already what's going on. But also there is that soft, almost a human side of the Doctor that will have conversations like that with the people that he travels with. And it's not like people like the 13th Doctor that just disregarded important information given to them by people that apparently they love. So that was beautiful. I want, for Christmas, I'd quite like a dummy of a Cyberman given to me in the way of a generation game. Sorry, on the list now. I thought it was brilliant. Off to the races as soon as you start episode 1, so I give it a 10.
Oh, well done. I'm so pleased you've enjoyed it, because it's not just a Doctor Who classic, it's a British television classic.
Yeah, can we start crowdfunding Kirsty's Cyberman now? Can we?
As long as we can all have it on a timeshare basis.
You never know, Kirst. At some point, you might meet one of the Cybermen from Tomb of the Cybermen, because the Hyde fundraisers, of course, do have looking like experience, and they are brilliant. The cyber controller. I had to double take when I first met their cyber controllers. How bloody hell he used to. And third Doctor Ian, what about yourself?
It was a shame it was discovered 10 years after Earthshock, so they couldn't use it as the insert on the cyber controller scope, you know, so they had to use Wheel in Space, didn't they? I know they corrected it later, but I think this is one of the stories, not trying to be too profound, but this is one of the stories that it's one of the strands of the DNA of Doctor Who, I think. You know, it's you know, there's certain stories through certain eras, certainly in the first 4 Doctors, where you can just say this is part of the DNA of Doctor Who, from which everything else stems. And I think Tomb of the Cybermen is one of those stories, and it has to be a 10 out of 10 from me. I'd give it 1,967 for its year if I could, out of 10, but I'll round it down to 10 out of 10.
I'm so pleased because I can't add up. Yes, that's great. That's brilliant. I mean, 10s all around there. Of course, it's going to be a 10 from me. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's so special for all the reasons I've said in the show. Happy memories of it being discovered. Happy memories of that Monday, waltzing down to our price, giving them my money, going home eventually and watching it all night and just having a fantastic night and just being so thrilled. Yeah, great. And BBC Studios, we'd like a steelbook, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, let's get into the chat. As I say, 10 from me. Let's get into the chat and see what we're all saying there. Legion of James is saying 10 out of 10. Thank you, Legion of James. Rocking Terry Lee, 10 out of 10. It's easy. Steve Braddock's got a lovely memory for us here, saying, I met Debbie in 1990 at a small convention, and she said she'd love Tomb of Fury back. Oh, we are so glad that she got to see it come back. Yeah, yeah. Derek Hart is saying, sorry, I'm giving it a 20 out of 10. And Steve Andrews is also giving it 100 out of 10. Mike Webster, I would rank Tomb in the top 10 stories across the almost 63 years of the show. It's a 10 out of 10. Dirty Davros is saying 10, no question. Lovely to see Doctor Who 1963 in the chat, who's saying 10 out of 10. Of course, Matt and Sabila is saying, don't be silly, it's a 10. Obs. Always down with the kids there with obs, which I'm reliably informed means obviously. Derek Hart is saying, okay, 100. Reverend Steve Armory is just saying to us that Ambassadors of Death was on television last night and he forgot David Hunter from Crossroads had a lead role, and he's very good in it as well, isn't he? That is fabulous.
Superb, yeah.
Stephen and Jeannie Frist, and I have a great idea, please hear me out. Okay, animate the rest of Dalek's master plan in the style of Evil of the Daleks and the Mark of Terror, do a documentary and release the found episodes on it too. It could be 3 discs. You never know what's on the way.
It could be 4.
Yeah, you just never know what's on the way, my friend. Chris Kaz, 10 out of 10. John Roberts, an excellent 10 out of 10. I love it. David Townhill is giving it a 9 out of 10. Ooh, still a good score, though. Still a good score, Dave. Yes. John, the computer doctor, is saying I have to give it a 10. And Sheila B in the Devotions, also a 10 out of 10. Again, fantastic marks for a show that was in the late 60s. Come on. Reverend Steve Armory is also saying 10 with one of the best doctors. Yeah. Graham is saying, that's very interesting, George. And to be fair to Patrick, he's probably right, but it's such a wonderful season. Nobody minded the repetition.
Yeah.
He did, Patrick. He was wanted to play it.
I mean, apparently he even put in lines like in Web of Fear where he says to Jamie and Victoria, isn't it strange how we always seem to end up landing on your planet?
Yeah. Wow, bless
that was Pat Troughton putting a little sliding in.
Naughty Patrick Troughton there. Naughty. Keith Burton is saying to us 10 out of 10. I can't see how it can be improved on. The cast, script, direction, the set, impeccable. And most importantly, it stood the test of time. 60 years later, we're still entranced by it. Well said, Keith. You're absolutely right. That's beautiful. Yeah. Well done, Keith. Isn't that gorgeous, guys?
It's lovely, yeah.
Absolutely totally right. Yeah, and I guarantee you, Keith, that if they did do a steelbook, it would be #1 in the charts. Yeah, they could do what they've done with the McGann thing that's coming out next month. They could do a steelbook, the 4K, I suppose, if they can make that work somehow, and the standalone Blu-ray. It wouldn't work too well as 4K, I suppose, but you could still have the 2 versions, wouldn't you? Still do well.
You'd be very hard to upscale a 16mm positive print taken from a videotape up to 4K.
Right. You can still do a Blu-ray, couldn't you?
You'd get a very nice clean Blu-ray out of it, certainly, but I don't think you could go to 4K.
They could do it. Who knows what might happen?
I mean, if technology advances enough in the future, it'd be possible. But right now, if you did a 4K and a Blu-ray version, you'd be hard pushed to see the difference between the two.
You see, George, I'll be asking for a Dimensions in Time 3D special version of it next. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I hope you say
here's hoping anyway. I'm hoping for that. Yeah.
Sean Cryer is also giving it a 10 out of 10 with Doctor Who at its best, and Cara the Tolkien nerd 10 with apologies for not being able to see it the first time around. Peter Wilcock with us saying 10 out of 10 because I love it. Dalek Shalom 10 out of 10. Every fault is irrelevant and forgivable, especially that bit which you only notice on DVD is when the cyber controller is lifted up.
The Kirby wires.
The
Cybermen, yeah.
And you wouldn't have seen them on original telly, would you?
I mean, completely agree with you, Dalek Shom. The very, very tiny faults in it, which are no doubt down to budgetary and time limitations and nothing else.
Yeah.
Probably frustrated everybody just as much on set on the day as it did all of us years later, just pale into insignificance compared to the rest of it.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Charlie. Stephen Braddock is also giving it a 10 out of 10. It's a stone cold classic, a 60s masterpiece. Top cast, all of them. Fantastic music and set design with atmospheric music and an epic story. It is timeless, as it's proving right now. Stephen O'Neill also giving it a 10 out of 10. Pat Troughton at his best. It's faultless. Take note, new Doctor Who producers. This is how Doctor Who should be made. BBC Studios, if you're listening, for heaven's sake, release it on Blu-ray. The campaign starts here on Who's Views, everybody. Thanks for that, Steve O'Neill. You're absolutely right. Graham, a genuine out-and-out classic. It's the easiest 10 ever. And the real geriatric coming in with, and it's a 10 from me. Doctor Who 63 saying to us, have you guys talked about how the icy tomb foreshadows the Ice Warriors 2 stories later? I think it's genius. We didn't, and you're right. I mean, that's the whole point of this whole series, really, isn't it? Because, as we mentioned there, it goes from monster to monster to monster to monster. It becomes the classic monster era. That's how I knew it as a boy. And, you know, I was so disappointed that I hadn't been born years earlier so I could see it.
I suppose it had the ice and snow of the Himalayas as well.
I mean, you
sometimes, yeah.
You basically have a trilogy of 3 cold stories.
Yeah.
You've got Tomb, you've got Abominable Snowmen in Wet and Windy Snowdonia, and then you've got the Ice Warriors.
Snowdonia? What's he talking about, viewers? It
was the Himalayas, George. It was the Himalayas.
Well, a matter of weeks earlier, the exact same location was used as the Khyber Pass in Carrying Up the Khyber.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, worked fabulously. So thank you for that, Doctor Who's 1963. Stephen Ginny Frith, 20 out of 10. Tomb is perfection. Absolutely lives up to the hype. I'm highly surprised some fans at the time were worried it wouldn't live up to the hype. It absolutely does. It's that whole thing that J&T used to say about the memory cheating, but this one, you're right. The memory did not cheat. I remember older fans telling us about what they remember as kids about the Tomb of the Cybermen, and as it was about to come out, oh, you're going to love it, you're going to love it. And we did. They were absolutely right. Radium, 10 out of 10. It's fantastic TARDIS team, a classic story. It's cyber base under siege by the Doctor. It's brilliant. And here's Georgius. It's a massive 10, a true all-time classic that ticks all the boxes. Fabulous. What else? Oh, I Am Your Servant is saying it's a 10 from me, and it's also a 10 from me. So thank you for that. Stephen Ginny Frith are fabulous, aware of the existence of any more existing episodes, even though they technically don't have them yet. They'll let us know when they know, basically.
Well, I mean, the Film is Fabulous have already announced that they know of other missing episodes held in collections in the UK, and they also said that the 2 episodes of the Dalek Master Plan were not amongst the ones that they knew of.
Yeah.
So sit tight. There is more to come. Just stand back and let them do the job, as we keep saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, nobody panic. Nobody apologize. It's all fine. Nobody panic. Nobody spontaneously combust. Stay with us here on Who's Views. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you are not new to the channel, please make sure you are still subscribed. The John Keeley is giving it 1 million out of 10. Fair enough, the John Keeley. And the Sir Sydney Rough Diamond is with us, boys and girls, with 10 out of 10. And hello to Just Words. Good to see you. 10 out of 10. Oh, fab. Chris Graham, 10. My favorite Patrick Troughton story. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Steve Andrews is also saying to us, David Hunter was the Dominators too, wasn't he? Yes.
Yes.
God help us when we go around to reviewing that one.
That was in real life as well, wasn't it? I think, yeah.
Oh, that's probably going to be one of the last ones we do because I really don't like it.
Yes. I must admit,
terrible.
I struggle with that one as well.
Lex, I didn't get your score. Give it to me again, please, my friend. It's got its flaws, but it's greater than the sum of its parts, says Just Words. Ooh, very good. Age of Steel book, says Keith Burton. See what you did there? Well done. And Dave saying to us, I'm sorry about the 9 out of 10. I just prefer Invasion by a smidge. That's fine, David. You're absolutely fine. Get in the corner. No, that's fine, mate. Absolutely. I mean, I can see why you prefer Invasion because it's very action-packed. We've actually reviewed that at the start of our celebrations of the Cybermen 60th last year before I got ill. So you can go and have a look at that if you weren't there at the time. I can't remember. Should the new series return to Telos, says Stevie and Jeannie Frith? No. We'll move on.
Just shorten that to should the new series return.
No.
Here's Lex's score here. 10 out of 10. Very good and epic. It's the Tomb of the Cybermen. Thank you very much for that, Lex. You're absolutely right. What else? Just Words is actually saying, to be fair, the initial VHS release was quite poor. The cleaned up version on DVD helped convince me. It's the technology of the day, though, wasn't it? Just Words. I remember being quite impressed with it on this big sort of big, heavy, big, thick TV thing at this place I went to with the local group. I remember thinking, this is nice, looking at it on that. It was nice on the TV I had at home as well at the time. It was just what it was at the time, wasn't it? As Legion of James has said, it was still exciting times. But yeah, the DVD, they did a lovely job for the DVD. Absolutely, they did. Rocking Terry Lee saying, if we were playing Desert Island Disc, Tomb would be in my playlist.
Mine too.
Yeah. I think so for me as well, actually. Legion of James saying to us, I love seeing proper Doctor Who reviews getting consistently high ratings, all well deserved, and proving our Doctor is a universe of timeless classics. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, Legion of James, how the older ones are getting 10s and 9s all the time, continually. I think thankfully, after the couple of years we've had, I think we're appreciating proper Doctor Who even more now. Even more. And we're appreciating storytelling and production. And Count 1970 lives, 10 out of 10. One of the timeless classics and where my love of the Cybermen began. Ooh, very good. And Just Words is actually saying to us, someone asked about Earthshock. I'm biased because Earthshock is my all-time favorite story, but it helped Tomb's reputation with the cyber leader recalling being sealed in Tombs by the Doctor. Just Words, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that bell, because Earthshock is on the way on the channel. Of course, as part of this 60th anniversary of the Cybermen, there is no way we couldn't look at Earthshock. It might be the first time George has ever watched it, but I'm going to make sure that he has. And he's with us. And a lovely super chat here from Lex. Thank you, Lex. With Doctor Who TV movie 4K's release, will Tomb get a 4K or a 2K transfer? Well, we just discussed that, Lex, as well, with George saying it probably just...
I mean, the difference is the 4K release of the TV movie is the TV movie has a 35mm film master negative available, whereas Tomb has a one set of 16mm positive prints, and you just can't get the picture information out of a 16mm image that you can get out of a 35mm negative. So I don't think there will be any difference whatsoever between a 2K and a 4K release of Tomb of the Cybermen in terms of picture quality.
You see, this is where I start to just hear words, everybody, because George and Lex both have this home cinema thing as well, and they appreciate all this stuff. I've just got a normal telly that I never usually have on because it's full of crap. That reminds me, Bergerac, the new series is coming on soon, so we better go. Thank you for that, Lex. And we've got here as well, Just Words has just subscribed to us. Thank you so much.
Nice one, thank you.
It's lovely to see you, and thank you for being part of our community here. Do tell your friends. Let's have a look. Yeah, so that's it. I think we've had all the scores there, everybody, haven't we? Thank you. And Steve Braddock saying to us, after revisiting the Tomb and the Master Plan episodes, I'm more convinced than ever any more missing episode returns will yield yet more wonderful surprises.
Yeah.
And on that mark, I think we'll finish off, because that's a brilliant thing, isn't it, George?
Yeah. I mean, look at the way Enemy of the World surprised us all. None of us thought it was going to be as good as it was. So, I mean, even if Film is Fabulous unearths some episodes from what are not considered to be top-tier stories, we could well be pleasantly surprised by what they contain. So, as I said before, any and every missing episode that turns up is a major success in my eyes.
Absolutely. Oh, well said. Well said. We're all in the same boat there, aren't we, everybody? And it's just brilliant that we've got this channel and that we're all together and we're taking this journey together. And we're going to take the highs when we can get them.
Yeah.
And thank you for subscribing and being part of our channel. We really, really appreciate it. What a great show. That was the Tomb of the Cybermen. We are, as I say, celebrating 60 years of the Cybermen throughout 2026. Stay with us. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you ring that bell, because next month is a very busy month for us on the channel. And we actually have for you, without giving any more details, because you all know I like to leave you gripped, 2 cyber-related reviews for you in May. Oh, I feel a hype coming on, everybody. Yes, I do. 2 cyber-related stories for you in May. I bet you can't wait. I know I can't. From Paul, from George, from Kirsty, the lady of the chat, and from Third Doctor Ian, we've got a busy weekend for you here on the channel. Tomorrow will be a chit-chat dropping for you. On Saturday, we're here with our review of Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. On Sunday, it's your big show live at 8 o'clock. It's headlines. And then on Monday, well, Graham will be joining me for a very special visitations because he's off to go and see the Third Doctor celebration at Riverside. So we've got a great big weekend coming for you. I'm knackered already, I have to tell you. I'm off for a chocolate Kit Kat and some Bergerac. From all of us here on the channel, we will see you very soon. Take care of yourselves, everyone. Ta-ra.
Good, everyone. Bye-bye.